Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. So, how's everyone doing today? So, this is a stream that I originally wasn't thinking of doing, but the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to do it. So, this is a visual novel called Undefeated. And if I recall, last summer I streamed a visual novel called Winds of Change. And I love that game to bits. And it made me want to do another visual novel in the future. So one night I was browsing the internet, and then some fan art of this game in particular appeared on my timeline. I got curious and I checked out the official page for Undefeated. It looked interesting. So, and I saw that it was complete. The story is complete, and I could enjoy it from start to finish. So I downloaded it, I played it, thinking I'll play a few hours of this and then play more later. I played Undefeated from early afternoon to like 1 in the morning. I got hooked and I loved it. Never seen that persona before? Oh yeah, I was originally gonna do a stream introducing this commission I got recently. This is Shigeru, a lion and snow leopard hybrid. Here, I'll show you the full image of him. He's awesome, and I love how the artist did. How the artist drew him. Let me link you the artist's Twitter so you know where I got art from. I got hurt? Is the story sad? It's a very intense story. It's a sports drama. There, here's the link to the artist's page. Go check him out. He's pretty awesome. Anyway, yeah, I read through this entire visual novel in one sitting, and I loved it so much. After a week or two of playing it, and I started thinking it would be fun to voice act this visual novel on stream. So today I decided to do it. You don't think you can handle a story like that? Oh, I understand that, Isaac, but thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I should warn you all. This is an M-rated VN, and there's depictions of intense violence. There's a lot of trauma. There's substance use. There's a lot of swearing, so you guys are gonna hear me swear more than I usually do. That's why this stream is rated for those 18 and over. So if you're 18 or younger, I highly suggest you don't watch today's stream. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing through Undefeated a second time. So you're not gonna hear any genuine reactions from me, but for the sake of it, I'll for the sake of it, I'll do some reactions. And I'm probably gonna, instead of uploading each stream archive to YouTube, I might split the streams into episodes instead of all the archives in one. I'll think about it. Anyway, I got some water. I have some gold lozenges just in case. Let's begin reading Undefeated. Alright, kid, you're up. The chill of the metal floor nearly sorry. The chill of the metal floor nearly shocks me out of my focus. This place has been underground for some time now, so it only makes sense that the floor is this cold. I step onto the elevator, accompanied by an attendant. The stoat is dressed in formal black clothes, like a dealer at a casino. From an outside perspective, it's probably a pretty strange contrast next to me. The door always closed behind us. The world I've come to know so far vanished behind me, just like that. This is the path I've chosen. The elevator's waking growl shakes me back to my senses, and with those senses, my anxiety. So, my eyes dart to the stoat. He's turned his head down to face a tablet. Standard procedure stuff, really. You read the contract. Rules should be familiar to you. No eye gouging, no killing, no foreign objects. His speech trails into more of a drone. I can't seem to focus on him. There should be a fire in my stomach by now. That burning desire that everyone that belongs here has. He was with me earlier. By now, it's all I can do to keep myself from throwing up. Maybe that's what that burning feeling actually is. The stoat keeps speaking. I should probably listen. Your contract requires you to win at least one fight before you are allowed dismissal. If you faint, submit, are forced out of the ring for 10 seconds, or are unable to fight for any reason, you lose. Hey, Thunder the Coyote, I mean. You're just in time. Thank you for the first time chat. My ears twitch at the last bit. He looks up at me. Any questions? I realize now I've been staring straight at him this whole time. I nod as if I've been paying attention the whole time. My mouth feels dry, welded shut. I don't know what I'll say, but he's expecting an answer, so I breathe out and nod. My breathing is a lot shakier than I expected it to be. In fact, my whole body is tensed up, like cables holding up a suspended bridge. I can't force myself to relax. I think the stone notices too. His paw rests itself tenderly on my shoulder. Hey kid, take a breath. His expression lines up. You're going to do fine. Everyone's first time is like this. I open my mouth to speak. All I can muster is another sticky breath. You're Alex, right? I swallow. It's Xander, actually. He pauses and looks down to his tablet. It says Alex here. Listen, Alex, it's just your first fight in the big leagues. Don't get so nervous. People don't start judging until the third or fourth fight. Just do what you know all you have to do. And when that bell rings, don't stop until you hear it ring again. I nod, still too queasy to actually respond. He's right. I've been training for years. I should be ready. I drop the tension in my shoulders. I roll my neck, feeling the muscles stretch out. Won't stop for anything. The elevator's whirring had become ambience at this point, only noticeable by its new absence as the elevator rolled to a stop. The stoat tapped on his tablet, scrolling his paw up a few times. Alright, so your opponent today is... The stoat's brow furrows uncomfortably, his muzzle contorting to a slight frown. That doesn't seem right. That crazy feeling leaks back in from the pit of my stomach, like a ship slowly slipping underwater. It says that your opponent today is Bruce. Which, can't really be possible. He laughs. It feels genuine. Well, that figures. Even our system can get mixed up sometimes. I'm sure it's just an error on my end. I do wish I could at least tell you who it'll be, though. That usually puts some people at ease. I think that sort of went out the window when you said I'll be going against Bruce. He laughs again, and my anxiety melts a bit when he does. I've been in this elevator for what feels like hours. Nice to hear someone act so casually. Just then, the doors slide open, then a second set of doors immediately behind them. And behind that is inky blackness. I have no time to be nervous. I have no energy left to waste on it. The more I focus on the anxiety at hand, the worse off I am going to be. His paw claps against my shoulder. Well, whoever it is, knock him dead, kid. I nodded. Thank you. My feet are grateful to leave the cold surface, though a part of me didn't want to leave. Now the doors have shut. All I have is me. No one can change what happens to me from this point on. I am responsible for what happens. I wouldn't mind if someone turned on the lights here. Just like the elevator, the area here could only be described as stale? Makes sense, given how far underground we are. It's a little chilly, though. Not the ideal temperature for fighting conditions, but I imagine that will change once... Fuck. It takes me a moment to adjust to the lighting. I'm familiar with the layout, but it kind of surprises me how much bigger it is than on TV. A wide circular room with a ceiling that stretches at least 20 feet above the floor. If I squint hard enough, I can make out a few cameras pointing down at the space. Huge stage lights pour down into the space. It's brighter than the sun, it feels like. Oh, right. The sun. Two massive glass panels reflect the arena back at me. I can assume they're one-way mirrors. They can see me. I can't see them. I creep closer to the center of the arena. The barren concrete of the floor could fit a small crowd. Closer to the center, a wide circle, maybe 35 or 40 feet in diameter, had been painted along the floor. I've seen this all before, but this was my first chance at actually seeing it up close and in person. Most people don't get the chance to do this. Lucky me. Please wait at your designated mark behind the ring. I nearly jumped out of my hide. A small voice spoke plainly over the intercom. Forgot that people were watching from behind those cameras. Thousands of people. Shake it off. Shake it off. I loosened my joints on my way to the designated mark behind the ring. The only thing that stands before me is the paint on the ground, and the elevator door on the opposite end of the room. I've been staring it down for so long, I'm expecting it to not open. And then it opens. Bruce? There he is. The elevator door closed, and I can see him much clearer. It really is him. Words fail me. My heart picks up in pace, and my breathing follows suit. I feel small. Well, smaller in comparison. I hadn't known his body was weathered when I saw it on TV. Seeing it up close like this was like nothing I could have imagined. Scars littered his body. One crossed his snout, with a few marking past attempts on his chest and midsection. I think I remember his stats back when I would watch his fights. 7 feet tall, 350 pounds. Size seemed so trivial before. Now that he stands across the ring from me, I realize how it feels up close, like the chill of death skittering down my spine. He opens his eyes, that piercing yellow gaze boring holes into mine, and I realize I've been staring right into him this whole time. His brow furrows, almost like the attendants earlier. His stoic, solid stance stutters. His jaw crunches up near the edges, and he starts to laugh. Loudly. I jump with how sudden his outburst was. Are they serious? Is this a prank? The dinosaur points to a camera. Is this you, Frank? Booking me a fight like this? Bruce laughs a few more weak chuckles. I almost want to laugh too. The beast folds his arms over his chest, smiling down at me. So kid, what's your name? My body is trembling again. There's no way this is happening. I'm not about to leave my opponent unanswered. Xander. Spat the name like the frog in my throat was leaping out. Bruce thumbs at the stubble on his chin. His mouth was still curled up in a selfish smile. Xander, eh? Nice to meet you. Dinosaur does not extend a handshake. So, how'd they get you in here? Is this some kind of charity thing? Usually only bring me down here for the title fights. Oops. They usually only bring me down here for the title fights. No, He flashes a toothy grin. You want me to sign something? I didn't bring a pen. This is my... Bruce moves into the circle, towards me. I consider backing away, but the man clearly has no personal space issues. He reaches out, clutching my arm. His grip is tighter than I had imagined, which is already pretty fucking tight. The leathery palm presses hard into my fur. I swear it nearly scratches my skin. I'm not here as a fan! I yell, mostly out of fear, thinking it would stop him. I'm a fighter! As I cry out, Bruce pulls my arm, and subsequently the rest of me, past the markings of the painted ring. Once I cross over, a tone rings out over the arena. I know that tone. That's the start of the fight. By the look frozen on Bruce's face, he knows it too. He's certain at least, by now. Maybe if I act now, I can catch him off guard. The attendant did say to start as soon as the bell rings. I'll stun Bruce with a strike to the liver. Once he's disoriented, I'll force him out of the ring. Not like there's any way I'll render him unconscious. It's unfortunate that Bruce grabbed my right arm. I'm no southpaw, so giving a power strike with my left is a bit awkward. With the bell's tone still pressed in my ears, I plant my right foot. It's even more awkward with Bruce still holding onto my bicep. I should be fine. My hips twist themselves violently to the right, and with them, my shoulders, followed by my newly formed fist. Bruce's right arm had been the one to grab my bicep, so his side was totally unprotected. My lips flare up slightly as my blow connects, half from the ferocity with which I struck. The other half is from the sting his skin had inflicted onto my bare fist. I swear I must have scraped my knuckles. Bruce's body is more akin to the heavy bags I spent countless hours practicing on. Thick, leathery skin wasn't just a myth people claimed dinosaurs had. That wasn't just a myth people claimed dinosaurs had. That hide is dangerous. What's more, Bruce hadn't even flinched from the blow. In fact, I feel his grip on my arm as firm as ever. I'm almost scared to look up. Bruce took care of that for me, though. Without much of a chance to retaliate, my right arm is wrenched uncomfortably into the air. Something snaps. I grip my teeth, letting out a weak growl as Bruce throws me behind him, my body crashing down to the center of the space. I scramble to orient myself upright, my feet shuffling along the concrete. It's all I can do to keep the focus off of my shoulder. It's a pain I felt before, not one that I really wanted to feel ever again. If it's not broken, it's definitely dislocated. Not that it really matters. Bruce's shadow loomed over me, silhouetted from the lights above. I can't read his face. I don't really know what kind of shit luck got you into a fight with me. I'm on my feet now, though I could hardly call my stand steady. Bruce doesn't move. But I've got a job to do, and judging by your little stump there, seems you do too. This is bad, obviously. Thank you, idiot. That liver shot should have taken him out, but it didn't. Now you can't move your arm. The only attempt I make to move my shoulder erupts into even more pain. Feels like it's about to burst. A desperate cry tries to burst from my throat, but his grip traps it inside. I feel his leathery palm tighten around my throat. I gasp out, trying to speak. All I can muster is a desperate choke. His claw digs into the side of my neck. My feet leave the cement. Bruce lifted me off the ground by my throat. Bruce carries me like a sack of dead weight to the edge of the ring. I know I'm dangling just outside the edge of it. His gaze pierces through mine, my body dangling uselessly at the end of his limb. Bruce flashes a wicked grin. He looks ecstatic, insatiable, despite having done this countless times. A chill crawls up my body as he freehand traces my midsection. You're pretty well built. He snorts. Or a shrimp. I don't even know if I should try to respond. Larger man lets out a grunt, and a sting breaks through my midsection. My face crumples up. Bruce's fist is forcing its way against my abs, and judging by the pain, it's found its target. My left arm reaches up to his wrist in an attempt to fight back. The same explosive pain streaks up my torso again. Bruce had reeled his fist back before I could even see it move. I feel my lungs flattening in my body as the strength leaves my body. Tears trickle down from my shuttered eyes. I can't breathe. I can't move. I look up and just stare into his eyes. Looks like I got the fight squeezed out of ya. Wonder if he can feel my fear, if he can understand my thoughts. If he can, he probably doesn't care. If this does end up being charity, I'm probably in a shit ton of trouble. I don't think I would laugh if I could. I try to communicate my concession to the dinosaur through my eyes. My right arm dangles uselessly to my side. I can't feel it. I know it's there. My left arm is streamed across his wrist. Bruce just stares into my eyes. I'm going to die. See you soon, kid. He spoke shortly, like a promise rather than a threat. Tears were still crawling down my face. Distance between our faces extends, with Bruce pushing my head away from his as he wheels his back. My face is pulled forward, aiming straight for the dinosaur's forehead. My vision goes white. I don't even feel the headbutt. I don't really feel anything right now. I don't remember hitting the ground, but I guess I'm here now. People are standing over me, talking. Loudly. Christ. I should probably open my eyes. Pretty dark still. I can see a beacon of light. A dark shadow stands before it. The shadow shifts, steeping into the space. A second later, the darkness swallows the light from either side. One of the men standing to either side of me grips my left shoulder gently. Can you stand? I grunt and pull myself up to a standing position, albeit incredibly unstable. We need to ask you a few questions. Try and stay awake for us, bud. To be frank, sleep sounds amazing right now. Everyone is so loud. What is your name? Ander. Where are you? I sigh. A FANG League fight. We're in the middle of the ring, if you want specifics. You remember what happened? My head hurts. Lights are way too goddamn bright. Got knocked out, and I think my shoulder is fucked. Give a chuckle and mumble something under their breath. The person keeps asking me questions, and I keep answering them. They take me to an elevator, straight into the med bay to put me in a gown. just go through the motions, waiting for when they'll let me take a nap. Few nurses wheel me around from room to room, running a few tests. I'd just have to sit for most of it. It's all kind of a blur. I just answer whatever questions they throw at my way. After a few hours, they declare my question is only mild and give me the go-ahead to get some sleep. Thank God. The hospital bed here is really firm. Reminds me of being back home. Not a bad thing, per se. I actually really enjoy firm mattresses. I doubt something as simple as mattress firmness is going to keep me from sleeping tonight. I can barely keep my eyelids open. For a few seconds, I see that scene from before. It's been burned into my vision. Dark figures standing into the light. I swear it was waiting for me. I don't know how long I've been sleeping. It feels nice to have my eyes closed, so I've just been laying here for a while. The electronic drone of my room was getting on my nerves, though. A low sigh crawls out of my muzzle, and my eyes finally pull themselves awake. I must have been crying. My eyes haven't been that heavy in a long while. The sterile white ceiling stares down at me. I crane my vision to my left, and some memories of the night before flood back to my head. Seems I've been hooked up to an IV and EKG machine. My right arm is in a sling. Looking great. My attempt to sit up was immediately met with resistance through a heavy, dull pain shooting down through the center of my skull. I pushed through, the pain fading away with a few pulses, like a heartbeat through my brain. I hear a conversation outside my door. It sounds like people are talking loud, but it's a ways away. I lean back into my pillow, my face scrunched up in discomfort. No use fighting my injuries. I can't seem to get free. Might as well try to get some more sleep. Is what I wanted to do. The dull sound from outside my door had grown much, much louder. I think I recognized the voice. I'm afraid that's the only conclusion here. Don't explain it to me! Explain it to him! The door to the room I'm laid down in is forced open. Light from the hallway pours in. I'm blinded, if only for a moment. A shadow casts into the room. It hesitates. Oh, for fuck's sake, get in here! Judging from the other person's yelp and the way he stumbled into the room, someone else may have pushed him in. After regaining his footing, he looks to the door, then to me. Before me stands a nervous-looking rabbit. He's dressed rather well, sort of similar to the attendant on the elevator from before. His eyes catch mine, and his demeanor loosens up. Hello there, Alex. I narrow my eyes. My name is Theodore. I'm the commissioner's assistant. The figure by the door scoffed. My eyes snap over to him. Bruce. He's leaning against the open door, arms crossed over his chest. Never seen him act so mellow. Theodore clears his throat. Yes, The rabbit adjusts his collar slightly. You've, met Bruce. I let out a sigh. Have. Nearly fucking killed him. His voice cut through the tension. It somehow only seemed to add to it. Bruce moves from his spot on the door towards the two of us. I can see Theodore's eyes dart away, and he takes a step back from the approaching dino. Is he seriously Bruce's boss? Bruce stops in front of my bed. You want to tell him why the fuck that happened? Rabbit manages to keep his posture upright, and his ears fold down. Well, he must not want to be here. Yes, that's. He takes a shaky breath and steadies himself. You are certainly were popular. Your fight with Bruce put our ratings through the roof. I blink. Thanks? Get to the point, Ted. Right. Theodore clears his throat. Obviously, this was, unintended. According to a quick manual review, you should have been involved in a lightweight bout tonight. We can't exactly explain what happened, but for some reason, Bruce was your opponent. The rabbit readjusts his tie. Now, in terms of your contract, typically you need to win one fight before the duties of your contract can be considered fulfilled. And I can, understand why you'd like to back out. Unfortunately, and there's a bit of a snag. Bruce rolls his eyes. Because of the nature of our automated matchmaking system, anyone that fights the champion is momentarily set in a special tier of their own. If they win, they become the champion. If they lose, they return to their tier. And you don't have a tier to return to. I can visibly see sweat dripping down his brow. So, you remain in this, momentary tier. It sounds like he needs to say more, but he stops. He glances at Bruce for approval? Heart feels like it's ready to drop. I don't understand. Means you're stuck fighting me. Bruce's voice barks out again, scaring Theodore and nearly scaring me. And it means you're going to keep fighting me. Till this fucking matchmaking works itself out. Blood trickles down the sides of my head. I don't understand. Maybe I don't want to understand. What? What? Are matches made at random? There's a second of silence where Bruce and Theodore make a bit of eye contact. Well, not entirely. The computer sorts out matches through a deeply detailed algorithm. It's actually quite impressive when you look into it. Bruce snorts a bit of air through his snout, as if trying to get Theodore to speak further. Can't someone just go in and make the change manually? Again, Theodore looks away before speaking. All manual changes to the matchmaking must be approved by the commissioner first. So calm down. You'd sooner be able to beat me than expect the commissioner to give a shit. His eyes shift down to Theodore, whose eyes shift directly away. You feel my body going faint, like that sick you feel deep in the pit of your stomach. Thought of going through that again. So, what? What are my options? Rabbit speaks up. I'm afraid that until this issue is, sorted, you will need to keep fighting Bruce. Or you'll void your contract. I'm sure you're aware of the, consequences. I had read the contract carefully. They'll require me to pay out my ass. They'll require me to pay out of my ass, and I can't afford that. I'll never be able to afford that. Money was part of the reason I came down here. Walmart was picking up pace at this point. I hadn't even noticed. Bruce and Theodore are silent for a long time. I'm leaving. If you have any questions, Ted here will tell you whatever bullshit you want to hear. The dinosaur spits the last few words, then turns on his toes and stomps out of the door. Theodore just sort of stands there, quiet. He seems less nervous now. He still won't make eye contact with me. Is there anything else I can answer for you? I don't even know what to say, what to ask. Struggling to process what I'm hearing. Theodore notices my silence and steps away from the bed. I'll, give you some time, Alex. I don't bother correcting him. If you need to speak to me, please reach out to any of our helpful staff here. Rest well. With that, Theodore trails out of the room. And I am alone. Again. So, blame the algorithm. Got it. Sometime, he says. Say time heals all wounds. You'd think it'd be able to make any of this any easier. It's been a few days. I still haven't done much. The quality of the medical staff here definitely is as advertised. Everyone is so respectful to my needs. I really try not to ask for all that much. Last few days kinda went by without much going on, aside from whatever the nurses are putting into my body. They explained it as a medical steroid type thing. I probably should have paid more attention. Whatever it is, not allowed to leave my bed outside of bathroom breaks. Any amount of serious movement could extend the healing process, they said. They did also say that it's extra restricted for newbies, though. Bodies react differently to new medicines, especially for stuff as strong as this. They need to keep me monitored just to make sure nothing's going wrong in my system, apparently. And it sucks that I can't even go for a walk. My legs have been aching for a while. Ears flicker over to the door, catching some footsteps that seem to be getting closer. They were proven right, with the door swinging open, and a man that I assume is my doctor waltzing in with a clipboard. Good morning, Alex. Sander. My name is Dr. Drayden. I'm the athletic physician that's been working with your case. How are you feeling today? Real quick, this is one of my favorite characters. He is a very endearing and great guy. Yeah, Kitty. A sigh slips from my mouth, but I catch myself when his head turns up to my face. I'm good. I sort of shake my head, not really pleased with my first interaction with the guy. He doesn't seem to notice. Gotcha. Well, Alex, we've got your test results back. Good news and bad news. My eyebrows twitch. What's the bad news? He pauses, his face contorted in a frustrated way, like I said something he didn't want to hear. Well, the good news is that you're good to go. Everything came back negative, and your shoulders should be good as new. The cat flashes a smile that warms my chest, let out a breath that I must have been holding in for a while. That's relieving to know. And the bad news? The papers he had lifted off the clipboard have been flipped back down, and he flashes a wink at me. The bad news is that you're probably going to be seeing a lot more of me. You know, given your situation. A small laugh made my heart sink. While I had spent the last few days keeping myself distracted with some television, not particularly keen on thinking about the repercussions of my current predicament. You can tell I'm not exactly excited with that prospect either, and his laugh peters out. Well, I mean, at least, I hope you don't. Ted filled me in on the situation. Sounds like you're really going through it. You could put it that way, yeah. The smile stayed for a second or so before he snapped down to his clipboard. But, yes, so, vitals. Blood tests all came back negative. Mild concussion. X-rays are looking fine. You'll need a bit of physical therapy to get your rotator and tendon back up to speed, but otherwise, we're able to discharge you right away. Don't shoulders take a couple weeks to get fixed? Usually, yes. I take it you've had this happen before? I frown. Dislocated, yeah, under different circumstances, though. Drayden waves his hands non-committally. Of course. So you probably know how it goes. Usually there's no serious exercise allowed, no major lifting, none of that. However, the steroids we've pumped into your system are special. They enhance your body's natural regenerative abilities, for lack of better terms. Obviously, it's not going to enhance your ability in fights or anything, and it won't help you recover from wounds during a fight. But it gets our fighters up and running much faster than they would naturally, so everybody's grateful for that, I'd say. The smile on his face made him look almost proud of the process. Can't exactly say I blame him. And the tests? Just some simple blood work, really. Make sure your liver's handling the medication properly, and you know, cancer, things like that. My heart jumps at that word, and I sit up. Cancer? Again, though, he shakes his hands casually, like he's trying to shoo me away. That hasn't been a case yet, so I wouldn't exactly be worried about it. Still, if your body decides to push it too hard, blood work would catch it right off the bat, so we can nip it in the bud before it becomes an issue. I can't help but worry that my contract would get voided if they couldn't use the medication anymore, but Drayden doesn't seem to be fretting over it. The feline pulls the chair away from the wall and drops onto it, crossing his legs and resting his clipboard on them. I'll set you up with some physical therapy with yours truly here in a day, and I think it's best for you to get out of this room. Get some fresh air. Well, I mean, so to speak. You've been here, what, 4 days? And the only people you've met were Bruce and Ted? I feel like you'd be more deserving of a proper welcome, all things considered. I nod, still a bit nervous of what that would entail. Would the others here resent me? Would they hate me? Applaud me? I haven't exactly had a chance to get a read on anyone else. Now, Alex, before I let you go. His pen clicks. He looks up to me. You know, if I had a pen right now, I would do that click too. Do you have any questions for me? His eyes met with mine. Silence lingers between us for a moment. Do I have questions? Yes. For him? Not really. Not anything that he can answer or anything that he can help with. Come on, Alex. This got ought to be something I can answer. I'm a licensed therapist too, so you can talk with me about anything. My brow furrows. Thought you were an athletic physician. Again, Drayden waves his hand. I wear many hats, Alex. That's probably why they hired me. I like to think it's because of my winning personality. He gives off that proud smile again. I can't help but breathe out a chuckle. Questions, though. I honestly can't think of anything relevant. I know my situation. I know how this medicine works. I feel like I've got out a handle on this guy's personality. For the most part, at least. Well, if you got no questions, and you're feeling alright, then we can go ahead and get you on your feet. Guess he took my unintended silence as an answer. Am I feeling alright? Guess I'm pretty anxious to meet everyone else, and continue my training. Maybe I just need to psych myself up again, like I did on the elevator before. My stomach turns. I'm not sure whether that's from thinking about the fight, or from the sight of the needle coming out of my skin. Ugh. Drayden assists me up out of the bed. My first steps are a bit shaky, all things considered. I've hardly walked in 4 days, so I feel kind of like a fawn for a bit. You get it? 'Cause, Xander is a deer. The sling underneath my arm gets undone and pulled back around my neck. I rotate my shoulder a bit, stretching it out from side to side. It's definitely still sore. Still, it's nice to have my arm back. You stick out both your arms for me, slowly. I oblige, and Drayden slips my gown off of me, nailing it up and tossing it into a hamper across the room. After a quiet cheer and a fist bump from making the shot from such a distance, he turns to my bare body. Yes! That's how I imagine he cheered. There's a spare change of clothes in the washroom for you. I'll give you a call when I've got your physical therapy appointment all set up. What else? He snaps his fingers a few times with one hand, holding the bridge of his nose in the other. Oh, right, rooming situation. Head to the cafeteria. There's a guy there, Red, little hyena guy, real sweet guy. Used to be looking for you. I nod and slip into the washroom to the side. Sure enough, under those fluorescent lights was a set of clothes, a familiar tank top and a pair of baggy pants. Putting on these clothes feels nice. Feels familiar. It's been so long since I was able to just be properly alone. No one watching me, no cameras, no fights. The clothes press against my fur like a long, loose hug, welcoming me home. I know I can't stay in this bathroom for too long. I almost considered it. Maybe I would have some questions, though. I want to soak in this feeling for as long as I can. After a bit, I slide back out. Drayden's still there, tapping away on his phone. His ears twitch when I move, and his head soon follows. All good in there? My mouth curls up into an awkward smile. Still not sure how to answer that. Yeah. Thank you. Smile remains, but he waves me off. No thanks needed, just doing my job. Good luck out there. Oh, and hey, if you need to talk, my office is right next door. We exchange another set of awkward thank yous before I leave, following instructions from a nurse to get to the cafeteria. Getting out of the medbay wing takes a bit of concentration. There are a lot of rooms with various states of occupancy, but there seems to be good spirits all around as I hear them. People talking, laughing, joking with each other. I can feel the tightness in my chest loosen ever so slightly. I pass by a few more closed doors before leaving the medbay wing entirely. The white and red accented the white and red accented floor tiles swapped to light cream as I moved to the rest of the main floor. The halls of the facility are surprisingly clean. Not like I pictured them as dirty or run down or anything, but they seemed almost sterile. Quiet, too. Even the med bay had a number of people strolling around on their ways to and from rooms and offices. These halls are basically empty, though. I only see one raccoon person stroll by, and he has his earbuds in. Duffel bag under his arm, too. Probably on his way back from the gym. Looks pissed. It's a bandage rolled around his bicep and what looks like a bit of crusted blood pushed under his snout. Don't worry, buddy. It was probably just an off day. I can only imagine how brutal the coaches can be down here. I've heard a bit about them. Nothing about anyone in particular. The guy in the hall flicks his eyes to catch mine. His glare nearly cuts me in half. My eyes start away. Really gotta work on this staring at people thing before he gets me in trouble. He continues past me down the hallway. So I'll see him again, hopefully on more friendly terms. Big facility. There's only so many of us down here. At least, I think it's a big facility. Haven't exactly had the time to explore. Now could be a good time, though. And it probably won't do me any harm if it's on the way to the cafeteria, right? As I was leaving the med bay, I had passed a number of office rooms. I assumed they were generally administrative stuff, not really anything juicy there. The raccoon fellow from earlier moved out of one of those next rooms coming up. Upon closer inspection, the walls of this section of the hall are actually giant windows. I decided to look into one. There's two guys practicing some submission wrestling, with the third guy leaning up against a wall. He looks exhausted. My eyes met for a second. He looks to his friends, mutters something. The other two laugh for a second. He looks back at me and smiles, nodding his head as if to greet me. For some reason, I feel like I should have looked away. I feel like I was intruding. I watch people wrestle all the time. Nothing new for me. At least at my old gym, with my old teammates. I smiled and nodded at him before walking forward again. I think I see the man mouthing something, pointing at me from the corner of my eye. I definitely should have kept walking sooner. I don't know anyone here yet. Feels rude to engage with some of these folks without at least introducing myself. Though that may not have been the reason he was pointing. I don't know how big of a name I made for myself down here. Do they get to watch the fights? Did everyone see what happened with Bruce? It's not like people would make fun of me for something like that. Probably. It's not like I'd really care if they did. It's just more annoying than anything else. I'd just rather go in with as little of a reputation as possible. I passed by a couple dozen more mat rooms on my way through the hall. Roughly half of them seemed to have a similar layout to the first one. Just a large, solid mat stretching across the floor. Granted though, the rest of these were empty. The other half of the rooms had a number of smaller mats, with one or two large spaces off to the side, marked with a large circle on the ground. Heavy bags lined the back walls of these ones, clearly made for striking practice. I feel like I'm going to be spending plenty of time in these rooms, not like I'll have much of a choice at least. First long stretch of the hallway seemed to take up half of the main floor, with a small segment on either side of the hall sectioned off for a pair of staircases halfway through. I'll probably figure out where those go eventually. Right now, I need to get to the cafeteria, even though I'm really not that hungry. Hospital food was pretty damn good. I can't exactly get to my room without knowing where it is. I mean, I could, but there's probably a key or a password or something. I need to find Red to get that information. Could brute force it? That would take more time, patience, or ramming strength than I'm willing to spend right now. Luckily, the cafeteria seems to be right here. Judging from the amount of sound coming from it, I'd heard it from a few doors down. But I guess I must have been too lost in thought. I turn the corner and enter the door into the noise. The open doorway leads into a massive chamber, with tables and seats scattered all over. These seats, of course, are filled with men of various shapes, sizes, and species. Vibes seem similar to what I heard back in the med bay. It's much louder. While chattering, laughing, scarfing down food. If TV and movies were any indication, this is probably what college cafeterias would have been like. It's pretty loud. Not sure I can get used to this. I suppose I'll have to. I start walking through the aisles of tables. Along the back walls are a number of different food stations. Looks like they... Oh shit! My bad, little dude! This rather large wolf had swung his arm out, gesticulating wildly into the story he had been engrossed in. I hadn't noticed until his hand slapped into my right shoulder. I totally didn't see you there. Are you good? It stung a little bit, but nothing serious. I'm fine, thanks. His friends let out a quiet laugh. Dude, you gotta watch yourself. You could have broken his arm. They all laughed at that, a little louder this time. Willie can't be bothered to deal with this, whether they're joking at my expense or not. I'm not here to talk with them. I turn around and walk away. You look a little lost, little guy. Need any help? God damn it. I don't have time for this. These guys don't deserve any more time than I've already wasted on them. With a scoff, I trudge away, further into the cafeteria. Little guy. Ugh. That is so condescending. No, I'm small. I don't need someone pointing it out. It's so loud in here. I need to find Red so I can get out of here. The noise is driving me crazy. Drayden said he was a hyena dude. He's probably the small one on the other end of the cafeteria, waving at me. I wade through the aisles and pass by the folks walking around with their trays before finally making it to Red. Yo! Hyena is seated on the end of a table, separated from some other men by a few seats. Red waves a short salute. His tail flicks to either side underneath him. I wave back. Hey, it's Red, right? I extend my paw, and he claps his own into it. Xander, nice to meet you. Good to meet you too, man! And yeah, technically it's Redline, but Red is fine too. I retract my paw after a nice proper shake. He keeps looking up at me, and his tail is still wagging. It's always that awkward lull after meeting someone when neither of you really have an agenda to attend to. When circumstances just sort of force you two to interact, but you really don't know what to say or how to proceed. Guess I've fallen into that again. He's still looking at me. Come on, man, take a seat. I want to hear all about it. I hesitate for a second before dropping down across the table from him. It? Yeah, man, the fight! He's getting pretty excited at this point. It's... I eye over at the men sitting a few seats down. They don't seem to notice or care, so I turn back to Red. I mean, you saw what happened, right? Well, sir, I think we all did. People don't really like to miss Bruce's fights. Redline takes another bite of his sandwich, holding the unfinished half in his hand as he talks. People say he gets angry when people don't show up to watch, so I guess everyone just sort of comes out to see what's up. He swallows. But Christ, dude, we lost our fucking minds when they stole you, dude. We were expecting a bloodbath, man. I think people were putting money on whether you'd even survive. I narrow my eyes. Sorry to disappoint. Hyena lets out a sharp 1B laugh. Ha! Hey, don't so ugly to me. I made a cool $50 off you pulling through. He laughs again, a little quieter this time. I feel myself glaring at him. Well then, I'm glad I pulled through for your sake. I appreciate it, dude. Maybe if it happens again, I'll buy you something nice after you can walk again. He's picking up the hint that I didn't think it was funny as he thinks, and his ears flicker slightly. Well, what's the matter? If you're upset about losing, don't be, dude. Dude's like... really big, dude. Redline shoves a couple of fries into his maw. Besides, you won't have another fight like that again, right? So your odds are probably, like, really in your favor or something. Probably. I mean, I'm not a mathematician. I can't help but frown. I think you mean mathematician. Redline thinks for a moment and shakes his head. Nope, that doesn't sound right. I think you took too many hits to the head. He winks. I can't get a read on this guy. I can't help but feel a smile creep up the corner of my mouth. You know I didn't take any. You saw the fight. He swallows the mouthful of salad he had. That's true. Maybe the medicine is making you loopy then. I shrug. That's probably what it is, yeah. Hope you keep good on your promises, though. I've got another fight lined up with him. Redline coughs, gagging awkwardly on his salad. He takes a swig of water, swallows, and inhales. What? Redline nearly stands over the table now, glaring down at me while I fold my hands over to the side of my temple. I can tell the man down the table are looking at Redline as he yells. You have another? Are you insane? Please be quiet. Why? I stare daggers into him as he continues to yell. As people are starting to stare. No, I mean... He pauses, looking around to the number of people that had turned to our direction. He sits down, leaning in close. I mean, why another fight? I let out a quiet sigh, my fingers rubbing up against the bridge of my nose. Let a beat pass just long enough until I feel like they've stopped staring. Contract details. I'd rather talk about it when there are less people around. Oh, okay. Redline goes right back to his food, scooping up his little cardboard cup of fries and fishing around inside. He plucks a few fries out and sticks them in his maw. He turns the cup to face me. You hungry? The few remaining fries rattle around inside the cup. They look pretty soggy, except for the one that's burnt to a crisp. I stare at them for a few seconds before drawing my vision back to Red. No, I'm alright. I feel an awkward pause coming up, so I add a bit more. I ate pretty well in the medbay, actually. Oh yeah? I've never been in long enough to need to eat there. He picks out a fry or two for a few seconds before his eyes shift to either side. I mean, I wasn't... That sounded like I was bragging or something. Sorry. What I meant was, our eyes met for only a moment before he turned away again. He sets his now empty cup back on his tray and swallows the remainder of food in his maw. So, did you at least get all healed up? I mean, you're here now, obviously. Like, was the medicine good? Are you feeling alright? My right shoulder is still a bit sore. I roll the joints and try not to make a face. For the most part, yeah. I've got some physical therapy tomorrow for this piece of work. All in all, it could have been worse. The doctor was pretty nice too. Who'd you get? Drayden. I think his name was. His ears perk up. Oh, I know of him! We haven't talked though. Is he as scary as his name sounds? No, he was actually really nice, like a weird dad or a pediatrician. That man's gonna laugh out of the hyena. You do look pretty young, though I guess most of us lightweights do, right? I nod my head, looking around at the cafeteria. Guess I could see that, yeah. So what's the deal with the food here? Do I just... Redline was already standing by the time I started my second question. Oh, dude, it looks totally confusing. I know. It's actually really cool. Follow me. He's already started walking away. He'd probably start talking even if I wasn't right behind him. What if he will? No, that's mean. I get up and follow Redline. So, as part of your contract or whatever, you get access to most of the cap whenever you want. He doesn't even look back to check if I'm following before he starts talking. Damn, I could have gotten away with it. You in the mood for anything specific? I almost said that the hospital food had done me good. Watching those fries rattle around awakened something in me. That latent hunger that never really seems to go away. It grows. It desires. Wouldn't mind a smoothie or something. At that, Hyena turns to his heel, pointing to one section along the wall of the cafeteria. Smoothie station! Onward! He's already walking. I follow alongside him. He moves pretty fast. It's not hard to keep up with him. So at the start of regular meal hours, you'll probably have to wait in line for stuff, but you're in luck. Lunch started a while ago, so you'll probably be fine. Regular meal hours? Yep, I think it's something like 5 to 9 a.m. for breakfast. Well, pre-workout, and then 11 to 3 for lunch, and I think 5 to 9 for dinner? You'll get used to the times. They're pretty flexible since people are always coming in and out of the gym. He scratches his ear. The menus are pretty big. Sometimes they do special meals too. Turkey and stuff in the fall, ham in the winter, you know, seasonal stuff. Redline stops on a dime, and I catch myself when bumping into someone walking in front of us. It seems we're here. The smoothie station he had mentioned earlier seems to be more of a traditional coffee shop looking place. Nice wooden finish surrounds this section of the cafeteria, and it actually has a door that leads out to the hallway. Seems like I can access this place when the rest of the cafeteria is closed. Kind of a weird departure from the rest of the cafeteria, and it's rather masculine looking in clientele. I'm not about to complain. For real though, I would love to visit a cafe like that sometime. Redline nudges me from my left, wrapping an arm around me. I tense up when he presses his arm into my shoulder from the other side. See? Check the menu, dude! They have everything! Smoothies, coffee, protein shakes, energy drinks, you name it! It really is an impressive menu. I take a moment to scan over the options while Redline rambles on about some of his favorites. A good 30 seconds pass by before someone taps on my shoulder. Are you gonna order? My head cleans around to see a number of men behind me. Seems I've started a line. Shit. I stumble forward to the polite order barista who's probably been standing there uncomfortably for the whole time. An order barista. I love that. Sorry, can I get a mango banana smoothie? She confirms and writes something onto a cup, while the other baristas get to work. I step back out of the way while the rest of the customers get in line. Can't help but feel embarrassed for making people wait. I don't know anyone else here, and I've already managed to piss off a bunch of strangers. I swear to God, the guy behind me was growling. You alright? His voice makes me nearly jump. Yes, yeah, no. I think I held up the line there. A paw claps my right shoulder. Ow. Redline seems to enjoy getting real close. Aw, I wouldn't sweat it. You're new here. I feel like that's less of an excuse than you think it is. And besides, it's not like anyone's in any rush. It's lunchtime, dude. Get your smoothie and relax. As if on cue, another barista calls my name, holding up a small cup filled with a light orange concoction. I ease my way to where they stand and snatch it up, giving a hasty thanks. Redline and I start making our way back towards the table. He's been chatting idly since I got my smoothie. He talks pretty loud and fast. I suppose it's better than him being drowned out by the noise of the cafeteria. God, this smoothie really hits the spot. Seeing those fries had me thinking about salty food for a few minutes. Guess that was enough to get me thirsty for something fruity. Sweetness of the banana was overpowered only by the flavor of the pressed mango. Nice and cool and creamy too. Why did I think to ask for this in the med bay? Guess I didn't know they served this stuff. I usually just went with whatever Drayden recommended. He kept telling me to try the salmon, and I had to keep telling him I'm a vegetarian. You'd think my doctor would remember that much at least. And so he had my tray, right? And I had to butt in and say that it was mine, not his. And then he just, like, took off running. Right, I probably should have been listening. I guess he was embarrassed or something, but the worst part is that he was running away. While he was running away, I yelled, "Sorry!" out at him. Redline hacks out a laugh that's halfway between nervous and embarrassed. You apologize to the guy. To the guy trying to steal my food! I don't know what the hell is wrong with me! His paws pressed into his temple, muffling an exasperated groan. I mean, hey, if the food was good enough, then... Oh, dude, it was amazing! Like, so good that I gotta pace myself with it. Luckily, they only have it on the menu, like, once a month. Otherwise, I'd be rolling myself in... I can't read that fast. It all happens so fast. Looking at Redline as he talks, and I bump into someone. Into something. Someone, maybe. Or enough to accidentally crush my smoothie cup. The lid pops off, spilling that mango banana mixture onto the sort of the brick wall of a man I bumped into. He shoves me back faster than I can process, and as I scramble to stay on my feet, I slip into the bin of smoothie that dropped to the floor. My backside crashes to the floor, with Redline trying and failing to keep me held upright by my right arm. Ouch. After shaking myself out of my stupor, I look up to see my aggressors. 4 men stand in front of us, one of them with a red-orange stain on his shirt, and next to him, one in the middle. Bruce. Our eyes meet, if only for a second, almost as some sort of confirmation to our identities. Hey, what the fuck? You got a problem, shithead? The canine with the stain barks back at Redline. Bruce's chest chuffs out a short sigh. I swear I see his eyes roll for a split second before they close. And with that, his arms reach out. Bruce bends over, claws digging into my shirt as I'm yanked up into the air. I get a closer look into Bruce's eyes at this height. He looks pissed, to be frank. I mean, he normally looks pissed. This was a different type of pissed. I used to watch his fights, and even in our bout earlier, he had this air about him. A big, mean motherfucker. Someone that took enjoyment out of breaking bones and ending careers. Like a demolition expert, excitedly lining up dynamite to blow a building to hell. But here, inches from his face, with Redline bugging out to his aggressor, with the whole cafeteria feeling like it's frozen in time, he feels like a different person. He's not enjoying this. He wants me dead. I can feel it. I'm amazed they let a bitch like you out of the med bay. A grin spreads across his face. His eyes don't change. And now you're trying to start shit again? Didn't I already kick your ass? You think you could just walk away like you did earlier? Somebody to the other side yells out, and I can feel Bruce's grip on me tighten. I still don't know who the fuck you think you are, kid. I dropped to the floor. Well, more forced down into it. Bruce had been holding me up for a good foot in the air. Luckily, I managed to land on my feet and avoid slipping into the mango smoothie slowly melting onto the tile. Bruce's forceful shove sort of broke the physical stalemate we had been in. Everyone around us had to stop and see what just made that sound. But you'll stay the fuck out of my way if you know what's good for you. Bruce's massive hands pressed against me on that word. Let out a grunt, forced backward. The Redline's tight grip on my wrist helped steady me. He'd been holding on to it this whole time. I hadn't even noticed. You got that? The snarl echoes out through the dining hall. Everyone on our side of the cafeteria is staring silently, watching like statues ready to witness a crime. Statues ready to witness a crime. Even the staff at the food stations are frozen. A fork drops somewhere, followed by the presumed owner whispering, "Shit!" The beast stands back up to his full height, towering over most people in the vicinity. It's a pretty uncomfortable scene. Bruce's eyes shift to the opposite side, looking for something I can't see. Silently, he moves. He's definitely faster than I think anyone would give him credit for, especially at the size he is. His body moves straight forward, walking past me, and forcibly checking me with his shoulder as he does. The rest of his posse follows, the canine making sure to step carefully over the slush on the floor. You think this will wash out? He speaks in a hushed tone to the man next to him, their voices fading into the distance as they exit. Can't focus on them right now. Not able to put coherent thought to what just happened. I had my smoothie, and I was talking to Redline, and I fell, and his eyes. I was different from before. He was angry. He was really fucking angry. Stay out of his way. How the hell am I supposed to do that? We're all fucking trapped down here. I'll probably run into him later today on my way around the facility. Am I just supposed to stay in my room? Why is it so fucking loud in here? Xander? A fresh breath of stale air flows through my nostrils as Redline's voice catches my attention. He's really close to my ears. I blink a few times. A bit of red from the edge of my eyes. Eye spreads to my upper eyelid. My hand quickly rises to wipe them dry. Dude. I'm fine. I'm fine. Crack in my voice proves me wrong. I clear my throat and try again. It's fine. Sorry. What the hell was that? First, he ruins your smoothie, and now he thinks he just gets to shove you around? The fuck is his problem? Redline is louder than normal. I think that's just how he is. I don't know yet. He continues on, walking us back towards our table. I follow without thinking. No, I'd rather be anywhere else. Nah, dude, that's some bullshit. Like, we get little spats here and there all the time. But where does he get off pushing you around like that? I can feel the rest of the cafeteria's eyes laser focused on me. On us. My head is still ringing. I don't think I can afford Redline being any louder than he already is. I need to get out of here. Listen, man. Can we go? He looks at me weird. Go? Oh, the room! Right! God. Here, let's go. Follow me. He grabs my wrist again and walks a lot faster now, aiming for a pair of doors leading out to the hallway. Trying to keep my head down as we pass a number of men on our way out. Hey Chad, real quick, can you let me know if my voice ever cuts out when I'm speaking loudly? I've been having this problem lately, so trying to adjust the volume, the noise gate, and whatever to make sure my voice doesn't cut out at all. In fact, that problem is what made me hesitate to stream this game. I'd really appreciate feedback if you're watching this live. Anyway, Redline marches straight through the open doors like a man on the mission. It's a bit louder out here than it was before, but not by a whole lot. More people walking around. It seems lunchtime is nearing its end. Still a few people out and about, though. I think I see a few heads turn as Redline leads us into the main hall. He wastes no time taking a direct path to where we need to go. Down the hall, up a flight of stairs, into the second floor hallway. It's just as wide as the first floor, but completely empty. Brad and I power walk down the empty hall. Unlike the main floor, though, walls are completely covered. with normal wooden doors defending each other. Redline's grip is really strong. I can keep up with him just fine. He's got a death grip on my wrist. Redline. His ears twitch, and he stops almost immediately, turning to face me. What's up? I look at my wrist. You're hurting me. Huh? Oh! Sorry! Hyena immediately pulls his paw away, releasing me. It hesitates over my wrist for a second, like he's unsure if he should rub it or something. I take mine back as well, rubbing my wrist gently. My shoulder still hurts from when he was pulling on it in the cafeteria. Still, the fact that he was holding on so tight was a nice gesture, but it probably didn't help my shoulder. I feel like I should say something. I'm kind of enjoying the silence for now. Finally feels like I can finally breathe. We had kept walking once Redline pulled his hand away, at a bit of a slower pace. Whenever gets us closer to the room and further away from the others, I guess. Here we are. Redline stops right in front of a door at the end of the hall, room 202. It's a separate stairwell just to the left of the room, kind of fire door. It actually seems convenient. Won't have to contend with other people trying to use the hallways or stairways at the same time. Seems pretty handy. Speaking of handy, Redline jams his thumb against the little notch on the handle to my room. After a second, line on the handle flashes green, along with a short beeping sound. Mechanical locks in the door click, and Redline pushes the door to my room open. There we go. Come on in. Redline leads the way into the space. It's small. Not terribly small, granted, but still. We stand in a cozy rectangular room. A bed sits along the back wall, leading up to what appears to be a window. Seated across from the bed is an empty desk with a chair tucked neatly underneath it. This exact layout is mirrored on the other side of the room, with a small nightstand separating the beds, and large dressers separating the desks. The other side is clearly well lived in. You can see my phone, plugged in and face down on the nightstand. What's with the window? We're on the ground. Redline lets out a short laugh. Oh yeah, they're like light screens or something. Since we don't see the sun down here, they need something to help keep our circadian rhythm going smoothly. It helps keep our sleep cycles working. It's a bit of an awkward pause as I move further into the room. These rooms were a lot bigger in the advertisements. Hyena laughs nervously. Oh yeah, I think they show like tier 3 rooms in the ads. We gotta work our way up if we want rooms like that. You feel my expression contort slightly. We? Redline gestures around. Yeah, I guess. We're roommates after all. I had to pause to process everything. Makes sense, I suppose, seeing the two beds, seeing how Redline had fingerprint access to what I thought was my room. A sigh escapes my mouth as I drop onto the bed. There's a bit of give to it, though a part of that might be the comforter on top of the mattress. My hand clutches the bridge of my muzzle. I can hear Redline step up to one side uncomfortably. Sorry. I shake my head. No, Redline, you didn't. It's not you. No, I get it. You weren't expecting to have to share a room with anyone. They didn't really mention that when I registered. Few voices echoed down the hall. Must be loud, given how far away they sounded. Redline sticks his head out the door, looking down towards them before coming back inside, shutting the door behind him. Door's locks click. It's just... I drop back, landing with a thump on the comforter. Nothing's really going right. Nothing like I expected, at least. Two of us are silent for a minute. What did you expect? Money? Solitude? A working shoulder? Less concussions? I don't know. Another awkward silence lingers for a few moments. I can hear Redline pull his chair back and flip open what sounded like a laptop. You might just need to sleep on it. That's what I do whenever I have a lot on my mind. I sit back up. Redline's got his laptop on, typing away at something. I got plenty of rest in the med bay. Redline wheels around to face me. Yeah, I think you got assaulted in the caf. Not to mention you found out you're rooming with a yin. I gave him a weird look. I can't help but feel a smile crack. Redline sees that smile, I think, as a smile forms on his face. He turns back to his laptop. Trust me, Xander. Take a nap. You'll feel better in the morning. Well, you know what I mean. Nap does sound nice. I felt the adrenaline rush wear off after we got to the second floor, and I didn't really start feeling tired until I sat on the mattress. Lie back on top of the comforter, properly laid down in the bed. It's nice. Definitely better than the beds in the med bay. Doesn't take long for my eyes to close gently. Few more seconds of silence pass before Redline speaks up again. You mind if I put on some music? Hesitation. That depends. What kind of music? How's this sound?
Oh, whoa, what's this?
Anyway, a gentle guitar with a sweet saxophone melody flows from his laptop speakers. Redline leans back in his chair, arms folded behind his head. You like jazz? I could listen to this stuff all day. I mean, I can listen to all sorts of music all day, but today just sort of feels like a jazz kind of day, you know? It's nice. I personally love jazz, so I like the song choice. Huh. I like it. I was afraid it would be something, I don't know, high energy. Redline lets out a lot of the necessary laugh. Maybe it feels louder than it is. I don't know. Come on, man. I just ate lunch. You think I want to run around? Actually, wait. I think I could go for a jog. You want to come? I hear they got some new stuff in the library we could check out. Oh man, I haven't even shown you around yet. Redline. Yeah? Wait, right. Shit. You're sleeping. Sorry. Thank you. I lay in silence for a short while, laid back on this new bed. A cold breeze brushes past my ears, only for a second. It's probably a vent somewhere. At least it won't get too stuffy, especially given there's no windows and only one exit to the room. The blanket scrunches up underneath me as I curl up slightly. Jazz is nice. Bed is nice. Redline is quiet. And nice. Quiet's more important right now. Some time passes. My eyes flutter open to see an empty room. Silent room, too. Redline's laptop is still open, but he's not here. Guess he went for that walk after all. I want to get out of here. Out of this room. Out of this facility. Just out. I just need some fresh air. At least Redline's not here to bark some story at me. I really don't know if I can handle a chat right now. It's hot. Throw my covers off and roll out of the bed. Door opens. I step into an empty hallway. Can I sleep until dinner? There's the stairwell to my left. Might as well take that down. I push the door open and step into the elevator. The elevator door closes. There's no buttons. It starts moving down soon enough. It doesn't move for long, coming to a stop. Doors slide open and reveal that stone arena I fought in earlier. Good. If I'm here, maybe I can win and leave. Maybe someone can kill me. Either way, I won't have to deal with this anymore. This fight. This league. This whole miserable life. Gone in an instant. No more pain. No more fear. It's dark. It's chilly. The padded gloves on my hands make me realize I'm in my fight gear. Can I sleep in this? The door on the other side of the arena is still closed. Standing at my end of the ring, waiting for the elevator door to open. Feels like forever. It finally does. Bruce is there, stomping straight through the ring towards me. He says some baseless taunt I can't bother to pay attention to. I have to end this. His hand moves before the bell rings, sweeping from the side and clutching my neck. Before he can lift me, I go to send a punch to his jaw. My right arm doesn't respond. It's limp at my side. Can't move it. When did that happen? I'm lifted up. Must not be holding my neck tight, as I can breathe just fine. Legs kick out, trying to damage his midsection, trying to stop him somehow, anyhow. Bruce doesn't react. Just grins. See you soon, kid. His forehead moves closer and fast, almost like I blinked and missed it. The blinding white flash in my vision and splitting headache, however, can't be ignored. I try to call out, but nothing happens. His head rears back again, and then I think I move again. It's hard to tell before the searing pain strikes through my skull. There's a dull buzzing sound ringing through my ears. Bruce pulls his head back. Another flinch, another empty cry, another strike stacked onto my forehead. There's a bit of blood spattered onto Bruce's head. Bruce doesn't even blink. Stop. Feel something break. His skin splitting open like a piece of old fabric. The splash of blood on Bruce's forehead has grown. That buzzing is louder now. Let me go. Pain is too hot to register. I can't move. I could hear my skull crack with that last headbutt. There's blood dribbling down my muzzle. Bruce's head looks raw. Please. Close my eyes before Bruce can pull me in again. My body spasms, and I sit up. I'm in my bed. My room. Well, our room. My hand moves to my forehead. Soft pads of fur, warm and solid. No blood. Any pain that was there is quickly fading away, dispersing through my temple. I'm alive. At a glance, Redline is gone, his laptop closed, and his chair lapped against the end of his bed. My shaky hands come to rest against the bed, my heavy breathing finally starting to slow down. I hear that buzzing sound again. My phone. My body shifts, and I reach for the nightstand. I unplug the phone and turn it over to look at the screen. My blood runs cold. Dad. 2 missed calls. The fur on the nape of my neck prickles, trailing a chill down my back. Why is he calling? Why is he calling now of all times? It's usually been just a text here or there, or a stray message on Friendbook. Now he wants to talk? I've been staring at the screen for so long that it switched back into sleep mode. The glass reflects my own face back into me. My eyes met me and my own for a moment. He looked sad. He looked tired. I fell back onto the bed, blowing out a sigh as the phone drops onto the comforter next to me. What the fuck am I going to do? Bruce is a no-go, and the commissioner has complete control over the roster. My options are to beat Bruce, speak with the commissioner, or break my contract, and spend the next 50 years paying out the ass for avoiding the legal document. I'd rather not leave here more poor than I came, and beating Bruce is probably impossible, right? Well, I'll have to talk with the commissioner. So he wouldn't want a death on his hands. I'd really rather not die if I can avoid it. That's the next plan of attack then. What else am I supposed to do? The phone next to my head starts buzzing again, and I shoot back up into a sitting position. Mixture of fear and rage well up from the pit of my stomach, reaching the tip of my antlers. Pick up the phone without looking at the screen. What the fuck do you want? It's a brief moment of silence from the other end. Alex? Oh my god. I look at my phone screen for the caller ID. I don't recognize the number, but it's not my father. Hey, Doc? Yes, this is Drayden, calling for Alex? That's me. Hey, Alex, are you okay? A sigh from my mouth. Yeah, no, I'm all good. Just had uh, my mind wanders back to the caller ID. Just a bad dream. Spooked me pretty bad. Ah, I hear ya. Stressful situations can mess with your subconscious. I don't really know how to answer that. There's a few seconds of silence that lingers between us. Well, hey, so I've got your physical therapy sessions scheduled for tomorrow. Can you swing by after breakfast? I don't want you exercising before we make sure it's all healed up. So we'll get it checked, and if it's looking as good as I'm hoping, we should be able to clear you fully. Sound good? Sounds good. I'll see you after breakfast, probably around 6 or so? The cat lets out a laugh. 6 a.m.? Listen, your exercise types might be good at waking up early, but I'm kind of on a different schedule. How's 9 o'clock sound? I can't help but breathe out a chuckle as well. For some reason, I find myself standing up, slowly pacing down the center of the room. Sounds good. I'll see you then. Drayden agrees and hangs up from his end. Slide my phone back into my pocket. The room is silent yet again. Hands come up to rub my slowly waking face. I cannot believe I answered the phone like that. Drayden probably thinks I'm insane. I literally just told him a few hours ago I was fine. He seemed pretty calm about it though. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You're definitely overthinking it. Holy fuck, dude, that's so embarrassing. You know, I gotta point this out real quick. That sudden, scene change was a little sudden for my taste, but I kind of like that. It was like Xander was going over what happened with him earlier with Redline, and then that comedic moment, like on a show or movie, where it cuts back to present time and the person reacts similar to how registered. Also, man, that nightmare is scary accurate at showing someone's stress and fears. Anyway, Redline lets out another one of his signature high-pitched laughs, a few stray bits of food flying out of his maw and onto the tray. Must have noticed too, as he covers his mouth and takes a second to finish swallowing. Thanks. I'm a bit surprised I managed to run into him after my nap, though granted, I just sort of sat around and played on my phone for a while. I wanted to preserve the solitude for as much as I could. I couldn't really justify spending more time doing nothing in my room, despite Drayden's orders. It was pretty late in the afternoon, not really time for dinner, so I wandered back to the mad rooms. There were obviously a lot more people this time around, so I got a chance to observe a good amount of men practicing. Redline actually found me as he was leaving, and invited me to eat with him after. I managed to get to the cafeteria pretty early, thankfully before it got too crowded. He downs a swig from his water bottle, using a spear of asparagus and a slice of chicken on the same fork, before shoving it into his maw. I'm honestly surprised that cell service even reaches this far down. We're, what, 20 stories underground? Something like that. He covers his mouth again, swallowing quickly before speaking again. Not sure if you noticed, but they actually tampered with your phone a bit. I feel my face contort. What? How? Redline takes another forkful of food before talking. Wonder how long it'll take for him to learn to swallow before speaking. It's nothing serious. Another swallow before he continues his response. He's still twirling his fork impatiently. Maybe I should just let him eat and get answers later. They get outfitted with this, like, special internet data thing. Basically, the whole facility has really strong wireless internet. The special bit is that they can, like, monitor everything that goes on the network. He takes another bite. I should butt in before I get another spray of chicken. So they can see everything we do on our phones? But it's not really a big deal. Like, it's just to make sure you don't do anything illegal to breach a contract or anything. Or, you know, talk shit about the league. Another high-pitched giggle. Seems like he's not too concerned about the breach of privacy. But if you're concerned about, like, porn and stuff, I wouldn't really worry about it. I'm friends with a bunch of people down here, and they can be pretty open about what they're into. And Laps seemed almost nervous, a little more unhinged than his regular Laps. Some of it is pretty fucked up, dude. He's getting louder now, even by the cafeteria crowd standards. I lift both my hands slightly and lower them gently, trying to signal that he needs to quiet down. Now he doesn't seem to notice. It stuffs his face with a few more chunks of grilled chicken. I can imagine. I know a few guys from my old work try to get me into some weird stuff. What? Like snuff? Jesus! Oh, Christ! By the way, I don't know what they mean, and I don't want to know what they mean. Period. Hyena just laughs. I can point out 4 in the cap right now that would be into it. I almost want to turn around and look to see if I can figure out who he's talking about, but there's a lot of people here. It'd be hard to identify anyone. I go back to picking up my veggie chicken salad. I'm not sure I want to know who those are. That's fair. I'm not one of them, if that's what you're worried about. I don't think you could kill someone if you wanted to. The hyena laughs while I take a sip from my water. I would never! Fighting's fun and all, but I'd never be able to forgive myself if I actually damaged someone. He stops at the last chunk of chicken. I mean, like, permanently. Black eyes are one thing, losing an eye is another. My body shudders at that mention. I haven't mentioned the details of my dream to Redline, and I don't really plan on it. Granted, I didn't lose an eye. I'm pretty sure I lived through getting my skull smashed in. Probably more fucked in the head than I thought if that's the kind of shit I dream about. I can't keep thinking on this right now. I feel my skin crawling. Redline probably notices my silence. So, got any plans after dinner? No. Great, you can let me show you around the facility then. I force down the last bit of my salad and take a swig of water. Not like I can do much else here until you do, right? Redline stands up quickly, grabbing his tray. That's the spirit! Come on, little buddy! Little buddy? Wipe the scowl off my face and follow Redline to drop our trays off at the trash table, then out the cafeteria doors. You know, I kind of think that Xander is a little taller than Redline, so why does Red go off calling Xander little? Redline is standing outside the main doors, facing the opposing wall with his hands on his hips. His head is craned in one direction, looking down the hall. He's got that same goofy smile on his face, almost like he's lost in thought. So, Xander. Yep. What do you want to see first? I feel like I could answer that better if I knew what was down here. Redline spits out another high-pitched laugh. Good point. We've got a library, a pool, some exercise spaces. Those all sound equally interesting. Where do I want to go first? So, Chad, when I first played this, I wanted to see the pool first. But I'm gonna mix it up. Let's check out the library first. Redline's ears twitch at my answer, but his gaze doesn't change. Sorry, actually, it might be better to go this way. More efficient. I mean, we can hit all the different stuff on the way there. Come on, dude. He starts moving down the hallway from the cafeteria. What the hell was the point in asking me if we're just going down the way he wants? It's another thing I don't have any choice in down here. I follow suit, sticking close beside Redline as he moves past the stairwell across the hall from the cafeteria. The hyena leads us both down the hall, a short distance, stopping in front of a room with a bunch of exercise equipment inside. The scenes are being used by a number of men, with the room full of various different species of varying sizes. They are clearly working up a sweat. The gyms! Welcome to them. Well, sometimes we call them the weight rooms. I mean, I call them the weight rooms, but only the ones that have weightlifting equipment. And what do you call the ones that don't have weightlifting equipment? Redline rolls his eyes, but it smiles all the same. I told you, those are the gyms. Come on, Xander, keep it up. Keep up. Can't help but glare at him as we continue down the hall a few steps before Redline stops dead in his tracks. Oh, oi, Bucky! There's a group of older-looking men walking down the hall. There's a group of older-looking men walking down the hall. Why do I feel like that's a typo? There's a group of older-looking men walking down the halls, chatting amongst themselves. At Redline's call, one of the men turned his head towards us. His face breaks into a smile, and he departs from the group to meet Redline. Hey, Red! How you going? He wastes no time to get close, nearly diving forward to wrap his arms around the taller man's waist in a hug. The kangaroo chuckles tenderly, following suit as his arms envelop Redline. He's still smiling. The hug lasts for a few seconds, while I stand there in a semi-uncomfortable silence. No one around seems to notice, so I guess it's not out of the ordinary for them to give hugs. How's the lake treating you, Red? All good? Redline steps back from the hug. His tail is providing a nice breeze, dragging rapidly behind him. I actually have to step back to keep it out of my way. Yes, sir. Sorry to worry ya. I got some ice on it for a bit, and it's good as new. Kangaroo claps Redline on the shoulder and smiles. Hey, great to hear, man. He turns his head to me. And you? I feel like I've seen you around. New here, are you? Redline turns, standing between us and looking at me. Oh, right. Xander, this is Buck. Bucky. Coach Bucky. He's the trainer for a few of us lightweights. Bucky nods and smiles. I work with the other weight classes too. I heard we were getting some fresh meat. Didn't know it'd be so soon, but we're happy to have you. It's good to meet you, Xander. He extends his paw, and I met it with my own hand. Buck or Bucky? The kangaroo gives a short chuckle. My rule is that it's either Coach, Bucky, or both. Anything else, and it's 100 push-ups. And Redline. Another laugh, this time a little louder. He reaches out and ruffles Redline's hair. This pup's done his fair share of payment, and then some. Can't seem to break the habit, so he just ends up doing a little more work in the gym. Redline, whose tail is going nuts at this point, leans it into the paw with a goofy smile strewn across his face. Yes, sir! Plus it helps build more muscle, so why wouldn't I take the opportunity? I ought to up my rates if that's your rationale, Red. Oh? What? What? Don't you think I can pay up? Bucky smiles. And what if you can't? His eyes have some sort of sinister hue to them, the shape narrowing down as the hyena. Redline, however, had eyes wide open. Name your price, Buck! The hyena was standing on his tiptoes. To get closer to the kangaroo's face, Bucky simply leered down, still smiling. Next time you bubble the name, 20 minutes on the jump rope. Yawn! Buck. The two nearly have their noses pressing against each other. They're still smiling though, so it can't be genuine taunting. Still, this is either the worst matched face-off I've seen or the closest I've ever been to a really specific porno. I look forward to seeing it tomorrow, Red. I'll be keeping track. Bucky's voice had a bit of a lilt on that last sentence, giving off his teasing intent. The two separated with laughter, with Bucky's hand moving up to ruffle Redline's hair as he turned to me. And you? I sink myself back into the conversation now that I've been addressed. Will you be joining us in class tomorrow too? Bucky's voice is cheery, almost hopeful that I'll be present. I give a half-hearted shrug and a gesture to my right shoulder. Not sure if you saw my fight the other day, or a dislocated shoulder, so I've got physical therapy in the morning. The kangaroo nods in understanding. A few more men walk down the hall, patting Bucky on his back. He greets them in passing before looking at me again. Sorry to hear. Much as we'd love to put you to work, we can't have a fighter with a busted arm. You rest up until you're cleared, and we'll get you right back up to speed, alright? His paw bumps Redline's backside, and he nods to us both. I've got to head out. You two have a good night, yeah? With a short hop that turns into a trot, Bucky jogs down the hall towards his cluster of friends. I watch him go and turn back to Redline. The smell of the raid room is still very fresh, as people are still trickling out. Probably finishing their routine for the night before heading down to the cafeteria. He starts moving forward, and I follow suit subconsciously. What'd you think of Bucky? Bucky was nice? It's pretty nice to meet someone that's not talking down to me. Someone that hasn't really tried to insult me yet. I don't think Redline or Drayden intended to come across as offensive. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on them. Hopefully they can learn to think before they speak. He's alright. Is he hard on you guys? Redline let out a cheery laugh. Of course! Not really averse to working hard. The way he confirmed that already has me feeling exhausted. But hey, now I can do 100 push-ups without breaking a sweat, so I'd say it's worth it, right? I can't really argue with that. I haven't seen the results myself. That sounds like what a good trainer should do. Maybe it's just the thought of working with my damaged arm. I'm not sure I'm looking forward to the next class. I have to make sure I don't mix up his name. Shouldn't be an issue, but with how casually Redline throws it out, it's almost like he does it on purpose. Some sort of masochistic exercise routine. He chats at me for a bit as we walk through the growing sea of sweaty men before reaching the end of the hall. There's a number of closed wooden doors lined across the wall. To our right, a staircase. And to our left, a short hallway. A heavy chlorine scent wafted from that direction, so I'm guessing that's the pool! He points down the hall. The pool is that way. I'm not sure how much of a swimmer you are. Not too often. He cocks his head. Oh, really? Any reason why? I shrug. Just never been a big fan. Deer aren't bad swimmers by any stretch, but it's never really been something I've taken to. It's like running, with heavy equipment on. I could just be doing that instead of having to keep my head above water. You're missing out! I love a good swim after a heavy day in the gym. Water rinses all the sweat out and clears my mind. You have a hoop and a beach ball in there. It was nice to dunk on some of the other guys in water basketball. You actually do a slam dunk? He visits for a second before a nervous giggle is forced out. I mean, I don't actually dunk the ball. I'm not tall enough, but I like to think I'll get there someday. Someday, Redline. That got me wondering if they even have showers for like cleansing off sweat before swimming. Like, Clearing sweat and dirt is pretty important before a swim, especially in a public pool. Like, I often swim at a public pool at the gym I go to. Anyway, I gestured to the series of doors. There's a weird kind of lightning focused against this wall, almost like it's trying to draw attention to itself. And this? More gyms? Nope, this is the entertainment wing. Well, they called it the Enrichment Center, but that makes it sound like we're lab rats. He gives a bit of a non-committal hand wave, accompanied by a high-pitched sound of confusion. I was gonna say animals, but yeah, basically. A really sterile name for a place like this. Maybe it's just to sound impressive. Redline's already gone ahead to the entrance of the wing, so I follow suit. It's a library. Enrichment Center is a pretty pretentious name for a normal-looking library. Redline's standing with his hands on his hips, smiling wide as ever. What do you think? Feels so enriched. His laugh jumps out at me. I should be used to how silent it can be, but it must be more surprising in the silence of the library. The rest of the people sitting around reading must have also not expected the sudden laughter, judging by the generally angry looks on their faces. It's definitely not as shocked as your standard library. Oops. It's definitely not as stocked as your standard library, but it's got a lot of non-fiction stuff. Like history books? He tilts his head. No, more like self-help? Learning books. Learning books. Books that you learn from. Textbooks and stuff. Looking around, there are a lot of people reading at tablets. A few of them have some notebooks out, scribbling down the notes, having some quiet discussions amongst themselves. Chad, I'll be right back, real quick. Alright, I'm back. I went to clear my throat, and my cat Daisy, practically blocked me and laid on the floor, being all cute, so I gave her some pets. Okay, back to this. I already read that. I follow Redline as he moves out of the library, passing by the raccoon fellow I saw earlier. He's got some sort of art tutorial book open next to a notebook, scribbles strewn across one page. I like that. That some wrestlers are delving into their hobbies while being wrestlers. We go through a door opposite from the pool that leads down a unique looking hallway. Modern architecture, pretty impressive lighting. It stands out from the rest of the facility so far. At the end of the hall is a grand-looking steel door that looks like it was designed to blend into the wall. Oh, whoops. There's a black panel on the wall to the right side. Redline steps up to it, tapping the LED screen to life. Okay, cool. Looks like it's free for a few hours. Another few taps, and the door slides open. The bright light burns my eyes before I have the chance to turn away. Once I manage to adjust, Redline leads me through the open door onto a giant deck hanging over a beach. Behind us, the sun shines down, filling the space with glorious light. I barely notice the change in temperature. I can tell it's a bit warmer in here with the way my shirt gently sticks to my body. This is the Immersion Chamber. My hands grip the railing, tracing along it as I move the length of the deck. My eyes close, and I take a moment to breathe in the salty air. The cool breeze flitters past, my ears twitching from its influence. The sound of the waves crashing against the shore, the warmth of the sun on my fur. I try to soak it in for as long as I can. Pretty cool, right? It's beautiful. It's alright. No one remembers seeing anything like this on the promo material or contract or anything really. Redline's already moved up next to me, hands on the railing as he looks out over the sea. Yeah, well, so this area is kind of reserved for higher tier fighters. We're not really supposed to be here. I frowned. It's okay, as long as no one's booked it, people don't really mind if I'm here. But yeah, people will host parties or post-fight celebrations or whatever, really, in here. Sometimes they'll invite me. It's pretty cool. They're even decorated for the holidays and stuff, too. How does this work? We're on the ground. He moves backwards towards the door. There's a black panel along the wall on the inside of the room, too. That's right. So this screen controls basically the whole room. Time of day, temperature, wind, tide, you name it. But when the simulation is off, with a few taps, the sunlight fades away. Phew. Actually, the whole skyline disappears, replaced with a dull white light. Waves turn still, resting calmly against the sand. There's no more wind, and the heat has started to turn into the familiar temperature that's shared with the rest of the facility. I feel my heart sink a little as everything turns sterile. Quiet is nice, but for a few seconds, it's deafening silence. As quickly as the scenery had vanished, it returns, the sound of the waves splashing once more, flowing through the air. And like I said, time of day. A few seconds pass, and the sun dips down below the horizon. With it, a fake moon rises on the opposite side of the moon. The sunset scene, that's my summer screensaver for my computer. I really like it. So it's not real. Redline moves back to where he was before, standing next to me along the railing. Well, no. Like you said, we're really far underground. Kind of hard to get any real sunlight down here. But it does a good job of imitating it. You could probably get a tan if you stayed out long enough. I'm trying to block Redline out as he spoke. Eyes closed. I take in the ocean air again. Cool breeze, salty scent, sound of the waves. None of this is real. I will say, it's missing something. It has a really good habit of breaking my concentration. Can't really put my finger on it, but it's just uncanny enough to bother me. I miss the real thing, too. But hey, The view is nice, right? Look out to the fabricated sea. Yeah. We stay there for a while. That night, I dream of the ocean. Alright, go ahead and pull. My hand wraps around an elastic band, pulling it gently across my chest, and then returning it back to the side. I repeat this motion a few times, with Drayden holding the other end of the band. How's your shoulder feel? Fine, actually. He takes a sip of his coffee and winces. It smells really sweet. Ow, hot. That's good. You said it was giving you some trouble yesterday? Yeah, it was aching a bit. I think that was caused by other stuff. What happened? Nothing. Just... Bruce did assault me, but I'd rather not bring that up. It's hard to think of an excuse when I'm put on the spot. I could just use Redline as a scapegoat, right? Redline got excited and yanked me around all over the place. He chokes up a laugh into his coffee. That'll do it. I'd have hoped he'd be a little more careful, knowing your situation. You can't really do much about him once he gets excited. I know how that goes. He tried to talk my ear off the one time we met. But, yeah, be careful with that one. You don't need to tell me. Another small laugh from the feline as he takes another sip before setting the cup to the side. He moves behind me, holding my shoulder gently. It's like he's handling some fragile artifact. You squeeze your shoulder blades together for me. I follow suit. It's actually a nice stretch back there. I should do this more often. Brandon tilts my head to the left, giving it an even better stretch along the right side of my neck. Very good. Any pain at all? Nope. Good. He comes back around to my front, scribbling something down on his clipboard. So, how was your first day? Aside from Ren nearly breaking your arm, I mean. Trying not to think about a lot of what happened yesterday. Fine. That's all I really want to say. It's a bit of silence where Drayden just sort of smiles at me. He takes a drink from his cup of coffee. Guess he's expecting more. Redline showed me around a bit, and I met the coach. He was halfway through his drink, but he stopped when I mentioned the coach. Thank you for reminding me. Since I'm discharging you fully today, I've got your coach assignment. Assignment? Drayden nods, flipping a bit through his clipboard. It's just to get you acquainted with how we work down here. You're free to choose different coaches once you make some progress, but it's a good idea to stick with the same one for a bit. Can't really contest that. Coaches work best when they know how their fighters work. The more a fighter changes coaches, the more time the coach has to spend finding the fighter's limits and capabilities. It's kind of a waste. Excuse me. Hold on. Okay. It's kind of a waste of time that you could use training to get stronger. Looks like you've got Coach Bucky. Bucky? Yep, he's a big kangaroo fella. Well, that's a nice coincidence. No, I know. Redline actually introduced us last night. Oh, great. I get more of his students sent my way than from the other coaches, so he must be working them hard. Either that, or they aren't learning the darts too well. Drayden laughs a bit. There's a beat of silence. Don't tell him I said that. I would never do that. My lips are sealed. He laughs gently and taps his pen on his clipboard. I appreciate it. I don't think he'd really do anything about it, but I'd rather not get on his bad side. Things are a lot easier when people get along. Especially down here, cooped up in this facility. You really drive men to do some weird stuff, you know? Cabin fever and all that. And I totally understand what Drayden means. Like, back when the pandemic happened, I've had an episode of cabin fever a few times. I can't help but glare at him. Cabin fever is usually pretty intense, right? I think I saw a movie about it once. Isn't that dangerous? He tilts his head, thinking for a moment. I might have been exaggerating a bit when I said that. I mean, yes, it can be dangerous, but I don't think anyone down here is capable of going insane. Maybe just a bit stir-crazy, that's all. I suppose that's why they give you vacation time. Vacation time? They give us vacation time? Yep, didn't anyone tell you? Suppose you were in medbay for a lot longer than most would have been. It must have slipped through the cracks. Sorry about that. But yes, you are allotted a total of 2 vacation days for everyone you get. You can rack them up for enough time for a nice long trip. I can feel my ears fall down. I don't know why I would even want to leave though. Not like there's anything waiting for me above ground. Drayden sort of pauses uncomfortably. Sorry, knowing your situation makes this all probably pretty depressing. I dart my eyes away. How are you feeling about that, by the way? My eyes narrow, and my head drops slightly. I don't answer. I don't know how to answer. I know it seems impossible. I know you can overcome this. Thanks. There's another moment of silence. He's probably trying to find a way to spin this into something positive. Can I talk to the commissioner? Drayden's face freezes up, with his eyes darting down to his clipboard. He starts to swing the pen from side to side in his fingers, almost like a nervous tick. That's, I'll see what I can do. I'd wish he'd look at me in the eyes. I don't say this to discourage you or anything. It's really hard to get a hold of the commissioner. Would be a good idea to focus on your training right now. He sighs, waiting a second before scribbling something out on another sheet of his clipboard. I'll do what I can. Thanks. And more awkward silence between us. He probably feels bad. I don't really know what I was expecting. I knew this before coming into this place. I'm the only one that controls what happens to me. Even with this unfortunate circumstance, I have to persevere. There's no point in hoping other people can save me now. So, I look back up at Drayden. Sorry, This will get figured out. We'll get this figured out. Has to get figured out. One way or the other. Thanks. Drayden gives a pleasant smile, scribbling something down in his notebook. Well, if there's nothing else I can help with, I'd say you're free to go. You can start training too. Just be careful, you know? Your ligaments are still newly recovered. No point in breaking them again so soon. I make my way to the door. Right. I'll do my best. That's all we can do, Alex. I twitch slightly at hearing that name. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Thanks. I don't really feel bad that I had left the medbay in a bit of a huff. Not just the name thing. I could tell him to call me Xander, but he probably wouldn't bother. I'll still just be Alex to him. Drayden doesn't need to hear about everything that goes on outside of my medical emergencies. Planning never got anyone anywhere. The only thing that gets shit done is action. Granted, my access are limited at the moment, but wanting to drain it when I get pushed around won't fix this. I'll just look like a little kid running to their mommy on the playground. We're adults. Even if Bruce acts like a brat, even if Redline can be childish. Whatever. This will get solved eventually. I can either win or lose until I die. Drayden was right about one thing. I need to focus on my training. After I left his office, I went straight back to my room, changed into some gym clothes, and made my way down to the gym. Redline was gone, off having breakfast. Probably. Nobody had mine before Sisio. I will say, walking around without an escort is still a little bit strange. Not that I miss Redline or anything like that. I enjoy being alone. I just can't shake the feeling that someone is watching me. Like I have to watch my step, or I'll do something I'm not supposed to. I can't really pinpoint why that is. Maybe I'm just anxious. Or maybe I'm traumatized. Probably. Hey, Xander! So much for the silence. Redline pulls up next to me, clapping his hand against my back. It kinda stinks. Good morning, man! Morning. He's walking backwards now, facing me as we talk. You were really quiet this morning. I'm usually a light sleeper, but I didn't even notice you were gone. Thanks. I've had a lot of practice sneaking around. Oh. It just hit me. Never mind. How did the thing with training go? Are you clear to fight? Man, I'm probably gonna notice some things I didn't notice on my first read of this now. Redline narrowly avoids bumping into a rhino who was intensely focused on his phone. Yep, and you should probably take care of where you're going. Hyena laughs. I've got eyes in the back of my head, Xander. I'm fine. See? Watch this. Whoa! Redline moves directly into a rather burly kangaroo man who stands unmoved while Redline stumbles forward. I didn't bother telling him Bucky had been standing in our path for the last 20 seconds or so, next to the open door of the gym room. Bucky smiles. Alright there, Red? Need to watch where you're going, little man? Redline hammers a fist playfully on Bucky's chest. Sorry, Buck! There you go. The kangaroo's paw moved to ruffle Redline's hair, gently shoving him towards the open door to his left. Go get started on the jump ropes then, Red. They both laugh, and Redline follows the momentum into the gym. Bucky turns back to me. It's Xander, good to see you this morning. I nod. I take it you got the go-ahead from Drayden? Yep, he told me to be careful though. Makes sense. Don't want to go breaking anything else. We'll take it easy today. Get in here and start warming up. I follow suit, moving through the door into the space. One half of the room is wide open, an empty space where people are standing around, stretching, or talking. There's only a few people in here. That makes sense, considering a lot of folks are probably off having breakfast. Along the back padded wall are a few bags of various shapes and sizes. Heavy bags, speed bags, all suspended off the ground by chains. At the end of the room is a large map with a circle on it, clean and empty, waiting for fighters to use it. It seems smaller than the one used in official fights, but big enough to spar in. Of course, Redline is here too, willing to jump up and down around his body, like he promised Bucky. Few people had gathered around him, chanting while they stretched. It seems so easy for people like him to just talk with others. I don't understand how he's so quick to make friends. Especially with the speed he's jumping rope. Most people would be too focused on their breathing, but he's pacing himself well, from what it looks like. I start my stretching as well, keeping to the corner to focus on myself. My right shoulder really needs this. I can feel my muscles releasing that tension it had been building up since the incident. Alright boys, let's get it going! Bucky claps his hands a few times and jogs into the space. Everyone stops talking and turns their attention to him. Redline is still jumping rope in place. Bucky slides up next to me actually, patting me semi-aggressively on the back. You'll see we got a new guy joining us. This is Xander, everyone. You want to introduce yourself? The eyes turn to me now. We're all staring, hopeful, excited. Not excited, at least expecting something. Redline looks excited, but that seems to be his default state. He's really whipping that rope around fast. Right, introductions. Hi, I'm Xander. I've been fighting for a while now. What more am I supposed to say? I got my arm broken by the biggest guy in the league? I'd rather not that be what I'm known as here. And they probably already know all about that, so I can't really give them any new information. Guess Bucky can tell I'm floundering, as he slaps my back once again with an awkward chuckle. Let's give Xander a warm welcome today, alright? He's gonna be training with us from now on. I expect everyone to give him the same amount of respect I give you guys, alright? A number of guys nodded at me, saying a few welcoming words. See a few in the back whisper to each other, and I can't tell what they're saying. Bucky's hand sets on my shoulder, patting it gently. He'll be working with me today. The rest of you, start getting warmed up for light sparring. Redline started to open his mouth. Red, you keep on that jump rope. Xander, come this way. Bucky moves towards the heavy bags lying against the wall, carrying a pair of training gloves in one hand. I follow suit. The rest of the guys have already got their hand wraps on, spreading out across the gym to warm up as they chat amongst themselves. They're mostly around my size. A few of them are a little bit bigger. I guess Bucky doesn't mind having some different weight classes here. So, excuse me. Hold on. Hey. A sharp whistle pierces my ears, calling my attention back to Bucky and the heavy bag he was stationed next to. He pats the bag and tosses me the gloves. You doing alright? You've had group classes, I'm sure. I nod, undoing the Velcro on the gloves. Yeah, for a while. They're cheap. Bucky chuckles at that. Smart. Coaches can be hit or miss, but you're here, so I assume they did you well. Does it look like you brought hand wraps? But that's fine. I don't want you sparring just yet. I didn't think to bring my hand wraps or gloves down to the gym with me. Makes sense to bring them. I just forgot. Hand wraps are usually to protect my knuckles. I normally don't need that kind of protection when I'm training. I don't know what to expect down here just yet. I don't know what to expect down here just yet though, so maybe I should be bringing them just in case. You didn't bring any to FANG, that's fine. I'm sure Red or someone has some they can spare. Redline calls out from somewhere behind me now, still jumping rope. I've got a bunch he can borrow! Focus on your breathing, Red! Double time! The whipping of the rope against the floor speeds up. Bucky looks back down at me. But like I was saying, those gloves will do you just fine. Bad gloves, thinner and lighter than normal sparring gloves, where I can practice striking faster. We're still getting your arm back up to speed, but I'll hold it back for you. I just want a few 1-2 combos, alright? Take it slow. I nod and close my eyes. Slow breathe in, slow breathe out. My feet shift out, my left sliding forward a step with the heel angled out. My right slides back a bit, angling its toes out. I bend my knees ever so slightly, coming down as my weight presses down on my back foot. My hips twist to the right, my shoulders follow through, firing my left arm out into the bag. It connects, with a hiss spraying through my gritted teeth. I force my hips back to the left as my right arm pistons forward. Now the hiss forces its way out as the punch lands, and I've noticed my expression has changed, scrunching up my face as I force my aggression onto the bag. Bucky's been bracing himself against the bag, clutching it tight. Maybe he takes a step back as my punches land. Whoa now, easy Xander. I said take it slow. I snapped my glare into his eyes. Not sure why. I don't want to intimidate him. He doesn't flinch though. He stares down with that same lax demeanor he's been carrying this whole time. Sorry. That was good though. You caught me off guard. But remember, we're warming you up. I know you want to fight, but you can't go messing up your arm again. Alright? Take it easy this time. I nod and focus back onto the bag. It's clearly weathered after taking so many punches over the years. Even then, it'll probably last longer down here than I will. That's a depressing thought, but it kind of pisses me off. I'm so fucking frustrated. I need to take it out on this, on something. Bucky's hands twitch. I see him still watching me patiently. Deep breath, Xander. Take it easy. Force all that anger down for now. My hips turn slow. My punch reaches out to the bag. The leathers collide and part gently. Good. I twist the opposite direction. My right reaching out in a similar fashion. There you go. All I want you to do is focus on your form right now. Nice and slow. My punches, if I can call them that, continue in a similar fashion. Slow, gentle taps against the bags as my feet stay planted. This goes on for a while. The rest of the class continues their sparring. The temperature in the room seems to rise. Almost ask if they can crack a window open. That's not exactly an option down here. We continue for a while, and after Redline finishes his jump roping, he joins us on the next bag over. Bucky moves away from me to inspect the other students, correcting their form and physique as they train. While moving so fast, swapping partners every so often, laughing as they test each other's techniques. Doing alright, Xander? Red calls over from the other bag, leaning up against it. He's worked up quite the sweat, and that's to be expected after what he's done so far today. Yep, just throw another combo, slow like before, but with a little extra power behind it. That. Can't help but speak flatly with him, at least for right now. No one else clearly has shown their prowess in the class. It feels like I'm taking remedial boxing for beginners, as if I haven't been down this for over a decade now. I look like a fucking idiot. You're doing great! Look back up in Redline. It's probably hard without your full range of motion right now, but it's looking really solid. Keep up the good work. He claps me on the shoulder as he walks past, towards a few people behind me. Thanks. I don't know if he heard that or not. Guess it doesn't matter either way. Class continues like this for a while. The rest of the class moves on to heavier exercises, while I change up the combos on my bag. Redline gets himself into more trouble, and watching him stay quiet and work twice as hard as the rest of us is therapeutic somehow. After a while, Bucky calls for the end of the class. Alright boys, good work today. Redline is still off to the side, doing some punishment crunches. As you all know, we've got a Rite of Passage for when someone new joins our squad. The rest of the men turn to look at me. I think I can tell where this is going, and I move back a bit towards the center of the room. Bucky nods at me and smiles. Everyone gets a free body shot at the newbie! I roll my eyes and lift my arms. I did the same thing at my old gym. A number of guys line up in front of me, while wearing training gloves, but I don't really mind either way. After a bit of talking, the first one steps up, pulls back, and I tense my abs. The blow makes contact, slamming against my body as I hiss out. It didn't really hurt as much as I thought it would, though there are a lot more to go. He moves on. Next one steps up, taking a second to aim his shot. Another thump, another hiss, and he moves on. Conditioning is important, especially when it comes to taking punches. What's up? There you go, some more pets. Okay, this also makes for a good ab exercise, so I can't really complain. The line shortens, with each punch forcing a well-timed hiss out of my mouth. It's good to spit some air out when I get hit, at least when I can predict it, as it makes my body tense up. That can make it easier to take a hit. A few more pass through, and the punches finally start to sting. My abs would be a nice shade of red if anyone could see under my shirt. Only one left to go. Redline moses up to me. He's absolutely drenched in sweat, and his mouth is slightly open with his tongue hanging out. You alright, Xander? One up? Even his voice sounds exhausted. Suppose that's a given, seeing how hard Bucky's worked him today. Whoa! Okay, stop, Daisy. I suppose that's a given, seeing how hard Bucky's worked him today. Still sounds excited, though, and that'll probably never really go away. My arms are still up above my head, my body tense in anticipation for the strike. A bit of sweat drips off my elbows onto the floor. Redline wastes no time shifting into his stance, and in the blink of an eye, his fist finds its mark in the center of my body. Here it comes! With a heavy thump, I stagger back. My legs quiver before I drop to one knee. Pain resonates up my body, stinging and burning at the center even after his glove departs. Oxygen strains itself through my gritted teeth as I try to drag it back to my control. Redline dropped down as soon as I had, tossing his glove aside to put a hand over my shoulder. Shit! Are you okay? My eyes meet his, along with a few of the other guys who had already had their shot. A few are laughing, either among themselves or at me. I can feel my face go hot. First, Bruce embarrasses me in front of everyone twice. Now Redline dropped me in my first class. So fucking humiliating. Get off! I shove his hand away from my shoulder, forcing myself upright and backwards. The room goes quiet. All eyes are on me and Redline for a moment. Already sweating from the training, but the press has got me sweating cold now. Bucky claps his hands together, forcing attention back to him. Alright, great stuff today, guys. Go hit the showers. Seems to have fixed it. Men go back to chatting amongst themselves, unstrapping their gloves, moving towards the door. Make sure you get time on the treadmill sometime before tomorrow. He tries to yell over the sound of them talking, but no one seems to respond to it. I march towards the door, sting from the blow still burning in my stomach. Xander, wait! I try to ignore his call, but Bucky sticks an arm out as I pass by him. Hold up, bud. Need my gloves back. Pop a bit of air out. My eyes refuse to connect. With his as I tear the gloves off and present them. You alright there, Xander? The arm still extended, moves to prevent me from my attempt to slide past him. I'm fine. You're not, but you don't have to talk about it now if you don't want to. Go cool down. We can talk some other time. Can't help but exhale a sigh before nodding. Fine. Bucky's arm raises like a barrier gate, and I hurry out to the gym. Since the day I got here, it's been humility and pity day after day. I'm getting fucking sick of it. Bruce has already made me look stupid twice. Now I had the chance to meet new people, but well, I had to go and fuck that up too. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. My path back to the stairwell is cut off by a crowd of people headed to the cafeteria. Really can't be bothered to find my way through that. The only other option is to turn around and use the stairwell at the end of the hall. That one at least gives me easy access to my room. Thought I could handle that stupid punching tradition well enough. I did in my last gym. Not sure why these guys are any different. Well, these are professional fighters. Makes sense that they'll be stronger than the guys I'm used to. Why the hell did Redline have so much power? I didn't think I was too tired to take that. It still stings. Can't seem to get a win anywhere. It's like this place is out to get me. Now, like an idiot for leaving the gym in such a rush. I still feel sweat dripping down off my chin. I've been leaving a trail down the hallway this whole time? Probably not uncommon down here, but still gross. Passing by the gym, can't see Redline, but that's for the best. I don't want to see him right now. The rest of the hallway is pretty quiet on the way to the stairwell. Everyone's off at lunch, so I've got some time to get a change of clothes and shower. Closing of the heavy metal doors latch echoes up through the space. It's cold. Quiet. Chatter from down the hall is completely silenced behind this door. Silence is quickly broken, though. A breathy sigh comes from somewhere above me. Ears flick to aim towards it. Whoever gave that sigh starts moving on the staircase. I wait a moment to see if I can determine if they're coming towards me. It's quiet enough to hear a pin drop, or at least enough to hear the sound of my sweat dripping onto the cement floor. Draws my attention for a second. Gross. I guess they're going further away. How far up does this go? I move up the stairwell, keeping my ears out for anyone back here. Looking up, I can't see the end of the staircase, but it's very well lit here regardless. I get to the second floor of the stairwell and open the door. Finally away from the rest of the people, I take some time to get a fresh change of clothes from my room and head to the showers. Halfway down the second floor hallway, a massive communal shower room opposite from the bathrooms. There's 4 rows of showers, each row barriered on each side with a brick wall. Near one wall is a bunch of hooks and benches for people to keep their clothes while they wash up. This place is normally packed, even with a second shower room down on the opposite end of the hall. Not too bad now. It's not too bad now that there's no one around, though. These guys can be really annoying, even when people are just trying to wash up. I'll have to come back more often when it's less crowded. I toss my clothes on a bench, putting my all-in-one body wash into the nearest stall. A quick of the faucet knob, and a gust of cold water fires from the shower head. I manage to avoid the initial spray, though I can feel its chill from stray droplets against my fur. Turn the hot water knob as high as it will go. Temperature doesn't increase much, even after a few minutes. Guess the hot water's all used up. I sigh. I step into the frigid spray, immediately tensing up as water strikes my spine. My breathing stutters and my muscles convulse for a second as they're exposed. After a few seconds, my body loosens up. I breathe slowly and smoothly now. The body wash lathers up nicely. It smells kind of minty, too. The bottle calls it charcoal chill. Guess that explains the black coloring? Not sure what that has to do with mint. I kind of wonder if charcoal chill would possibly stain fur. I mean, Xander has pretty light colored fur, so it looks like it doesn't stain, so that's good. Not sure what that has to do with mint, though. Anyway, someone enters the shower room. Xander? Christ, I really don't want to talk right now. I sigh. What? Redline moves in front of my shower stall. Are you okay? Can't help but look at him. He has no problem staring at my naked body. Here I am, fully nude, half covered in suds. He's able to casually stroll in and talk with me. I gesture to my body. He seems to get the picture. Oh, right, sorry. He moves to the other side of the wall. Are you okay? I'm fine. The cold water rinses some soap off my fur. Did I do something wrong, boss? Fine, Redline. I thought I hurt you or something. Did I embarrass you? I'm fine, Redline. I don't really like raising my voice. He doesn't seem to understand I want to be alone right now. He's cried for a second. Well, if you say so. There's another pause. I'm going to go grab lunch. I'll save you a seat, okay? Waits a few more seconds for a response, debating not to give one. Okay. Thanks. For sure, man. Redline leaves, leaving me alone with my thoughts. This fucking freezing water. Squirt a bit more soap onto my hand and run it through my hair, scrubbing it over my scalp and around found another typo. Let me try that again. I squirt a bit more soap onto my hand and run it through my hair, scrubbing it over my scalp and around the base of my antlers. They're already growing in a bit. I don't want to get them trimmed until I absolutely have to. At least Redline's not here to deal with my shitty attitude. I'm like such an ass. Was an ass. Redline didn't mean to embarrass me. Just wasn't expecting it. He even tried to apologize and I shut him down. I should probably apologize. The churning in my stomach at the thought of that makes me think it won't be too easy to do. I'll see how he feels at lunch. I'll see how he's feeling at lunch. The rest of the suds rinse out of my hair. After scrubbing down the rest of my body, I turn off the shower. It's a lot warmer in my towel than in the stall. Part of me misses my hairdryer at my old place, as shitty as it was. Whatever. Dried off, pressed clothes, with the old clothes tossed haphazardly onto my bed. Redline's gym clothes are strewn out of his bed too. Guess he's still at lunch. So probably make my way down. It's a lot chattier than normal. Guess I've never been here while it's this full. Redline's at the table he usually sits at, but there's a bunch of other guys seated around him. He flags me down, smiling as big as ever as he motions to an empty seat next to him. Yo, Xander! He nearly has to yell to hear over the chatter in the room. I drop down into the seat with my tray of food. The rest of the men around are still in their own conversations. Xander! Oh, whoops. Xander, me and my buds. This is Iggy, JJ, Ollie. Rattles off a bunch of names as he gestures to each of them. Some of them nod back in between bites of food. The others are still wrapped in their conversations. I recognize a few of them from the class earlier, actually. I think we're missing a few. Rick and Gabe are on vacation, right? Yeah, they saved enough time to hit the surface for a few weeks. Redline nods. Good for them. Honestly, they were lucky putting one down, especially after Gabe tore his ACL. The batch of that piped up nods. Kinda crowded today, huh? Oh yeah, I guess so. Doesn't surprise me, though. Guess we did come down at peak lunch hours. My nerves go a little numb, and I take an awkward breath and look at Redline. Hey, listen, Redline, I wanted to apologize. Speakers from the ceiling, I assume, played a bit of feedback as someone taps the microphone. Redline's ears shoot up. Testing, testing. A bit of a cheer erupts from around the cafeteria. Can't seem to pick up the source of the voice. Everyone seems to turn to the center of the space at the top of the mini staircase. Theodore, the nervous rabbit that visited me in the med bay, stands with a microphone in his hands. Good afternoon, everyone! The voice of the crowd almost drowns out Theodore over the loudspeakers. I turn the Redline. What's going on? Oh, what's going on? I had to yell over the noise. Redline just beams back. Oh, right, this is your first time, huh? His tail starts sweeping back and forth. It's matchmaking day, dude! As you all know, it's that time of the month. Timid little thing raises a shaky hand, holding an envelope. Tries to open it with one hand. It's kind of awkward, but he manages. I'm sure you're all just excited as I am to know what this month's fights are going to be. You sound excited? Someone yells over the crowd, which had managed to die down a bit in anticipation, and immediately roars back up. The rabbit's ears twitch, and his face goes blank as he tries to hurriedly read through the list. This Friday, that's in 2 days, first up in the lightweight division would be Maddie. Theodore reads off the name. A cheer erupts from one end of the cafeteria as a lean monkey rises from his seat. And he is up against Mickey. Mickey's name causes the men around me to cause an uproar as well. A Lynx fellow seated across from me stands up as the rest of the table applauds. Redline's friends start pounding the table as Mickey makes his way up to Theodore, where Matthew is already standing. The two stare each other down for a few seconds as the crowd cheers, before shaking hands and making their way back to their seats. Mickey is welcomed back to the table with a bunch of congratulations and pats on the back, while Theodore rattles off another name, followed by more cheering. Redline finishes chattering with Mickey, then turns to me. Yeah, so basically, once a month, Teddy goes up and lists off all the fights for the next month. It's not a lot of prep time to get ready for a fight. Redline shrugs. Since we basically spend all our time down here training, we don't need much time to do a fight camp or anything like that. He flexes a bicep, patting it tenderly. These bad boys are ready to go whenever they want to give me someone. They're just waiting to see if someone as short as you exists. His friend chimes up, and Redline laughs, jabbing him in the shoulder. Hey now, Xander's right here! I feel my face get hot. Not that much shorter than him. Theodore's been talking a bit now, but the crowd's noise seemed to die down after the previous fighters returned to their seats. He clears his throat and tugs at his shirt collar. And the moment you've all probably been waiting for. We've got a special upcoming championship fight in the heavyweight division at the end of the month. Another cheer from the crowd, with chants of Bruce, 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 pulsing through the men. The reigning champion Bruce will be facing off against the challenger, Alex. Hearing that name sent a shiver down my spine. On my skin. The crowd kind of goes quiet, almost confused as they look for whoever has that name. I push myself to my feet. A few heads swivel to look at me. I move through the crowd towards Theodore. What was once cheering and laughing had turned to an uncomfortable whisper as people are surely asking each other too many questions. I climb the stairs to where Theodore is standing. It looks like he doesn't want to be here either. Bruce isn't here. It should be easy to pick out of a crowd. He's nowhere to be seen. As soon as I reach the top step, one voice rings out from across the cafeteria. Let's fucking go, Xander! Woo! I never thought I'd say that out loud. Everyone turns to the source, and after a second, all of Redline's friends start clapping as well, albeit a bit hesitantly. The rest of the crowd dissolves into idle chatter, confused applause, or laughter. It takes a lot of control to keep my ears from falling down, and I know that would only make them laugh more. Alex, I clear my throat. Theodore, is there any way I could talk with the commissioner? His ears twitch and he looks away. I'm afraid that once the match is made, it cannot be undone. You'll have to wait until after the fight is over. But Theodore bows awkwardly and hops down on the steps before I can say another word. Few men harass him as he nearly runs for the exit. He's especially fast for someone so frail looking. Maybe that's why he's so fast in the first place. The cafeteria has gone back to its usual chatter, and I slog my way back to my seat at the table. Redline's got most of them entranced in the conversation, but when I get close enough, he motions me closer. You want to tell these guys what's up? Not really. Redline's ears lower at that. He turns back to his friends. He is in... Oh, another typo. He's in some weird contract, and he has to keep finding Bruce. He hasn't really told me the details. The rest of them echo each other's confusion. A few more badgering me with questions. I just want to eat my food. They probably won't stop without an answer. Might as well get it over with. It's really all there is to it, honestly. The matchmaking system fucked up. I can't get in touch with the commissioner to change it yet. It seems to send a nervous shockwave through the group as they all ease back into their seats. Redline chimes in. Shit, really? That's not great. Not great? No. Commissioner, he's... First time, they're all sort of quiet. Don't fuck with the commissioner, man. One of his friends speaks up. The rest echo agreement. Yeah, I mean, they don't really know much about him, but there's a reason no one really talks to him. And that is... Redline swallows a bit of food and thinks. I mean, he's like our boss. Like, we don't really need to question it. We just do our job. This feels like a special case where that might be a risk worth taking. I don't know. Or you could just fight Bruce. Your call. The rest of the group laughs at that. My heart only sinks into my stomach. I'm not really hungry anymore. There, sorry about that. Just taking a swig of water. Okay, a few weeks pass, relatively uneventful, aside from the dread of the next fight looming over me. Drayden tried getting in touch with me to weasel more information, but I can't really talk to him. He has nothing to do with the fights. He doesn't need to be involved. Theodore has pretty much vanished. Seems no one really sees him outside of matchmaking day. Not that he would have been any help either. He bolted when I tried talking to him about it then. I don't think that it changed now. Roll onto one side. My mattress feels a lot less comfortable these days. Seats are draped over my top half. I get really uncomfortable when my feet are too hot. This happens pretty frequently in this room. They shut off the air conditioning at night sometimes. Can't really tell why or how often, but I'll sometimes wake up in a pool of sweat. My life seems to have it figured out, though. His box fan blowing colder, stale air onto his body. He says the sound of the fan helps him sleep. Not too intrusive. It keeps the air moving, so I can't really complain. God, his position looks uncomfortable. His limbs are all contorted in wild positions. Each their own, I guess. Look at my phone to life. Breakfast doesn't start for another half hour. I sigh. Might as well get out of bed. Waking up early has never been hard for me. Waking up early has never been hard for me. We are light sleepers by nature, so everyone in my family would always wake up around sunrise. I helped for training too, once I started getting serious about it. After I moved out though, waking up wasn't just natural, it was necessary. Those store shelves didn't stock themselves, especially for how early my work opened, even if it meant unloading hundreds of pounds of shit off a truck at hours unseen by guard. Oh well, all of that is behind me now. Maybe not the early mornings, but that's fine. I like waking up before everyone else. Get to have my alone time. The silence treats me well. Well, silence, ignoring Redline's fan. Slip a tank top on, and with my phone slid down my lounge pants pocket, step out of the bedroom. It's hard to believe I've almost been here for a month already. 1 month since that elevator ride. 1 month since leaving it all behind. 1 month since Bruce. Now I get to do it again in a few days. My stomach hurts again. Maybe I should go somewhere to relax before breakfast opens up. It's been a while since I hit the Immersion Chamber. Maybe the beach will calm me down. All is as quiet as ever. I haven't been back here since Redline was showing me around. Pull out the door. Locked. Redline must have used the passcode on the panel next to the door. Need a hand? Bucky's voice echoes from down the hall behind me. I was hoping to get some alone time. If I had to be interrupted, I'm glad it's him. Yeah, door's stuck. Bucky nods, typing in something on the keyboard. Yep, this place is pretty high-tech. You don't want random people coming in without a password. Give her a go. Sure enough, the door opens. It's still nighttime in here. It'll probably be sunrise soon. The ocean is still... no waves crashing against the shore. Silence is almost eerie. You're up early. Yeah, I couldn't sleep. I hear you. Bucky leans on the railing overlooking the ocean. Nervous? About the fight? He stays quiet, like he's waiting for an answer. I move up next to him. Why am I not supposed to be? He huffs out a short laugh. Still don't know how you got involved in that contract. It has something to do with their system or whatever. You need to talk to the commissioner to get it fixed. What, you don't think you can take Bruce? I don't really know how to answer that without sounding like an ass. Or is that even a question? Not really? Could you? Oh yeah. You didn't even take time to think about that. Really? He'd be lucky to have any pieces left to put himself back together again. He's bigger than you. He's undefeated in his weight class. And? What does that matter? Do you think I'm going to get anywhere worrying about all that? He turns his head to face me. I don't give a shit that he's huge. That just means he's slower than me. I know how to handle myself. Leave that to instinct and let the rest of my focus go on tearing him to pieces. His finger taps at his forehead. The absolute worst thing you can do, the absolute worst, is to let them get in your head. Finger moves to the point between my eyebrows. You're not gonna let them get in your head. You know exactly what you are, and you know exactly what you're going to do. And nothing can change that. And if the last few weeks of training have been any indication, you're probably going to leave him smeared across the cement. Alright? The finger on my head shifts to place his hand flat across my scalp. Staring up into his confident eyes, that genuine warm smile. It's hard to say no to that. He shakes me gently. Alright? I chuckle and swipe at his hand. It drops to the railing. Alright. You're probably right. Not probably. I am right. Full confidence, Xander. Whenever you doubt yourself, you gotta make yourself be confident. Even if it ain't real, fake it till you make it. That sort of thing. You keep that confidence until it becomes real. You understand? I don't. He continues. You doubt yourself, you lose focus. You lose focus, you take a hit. It all snowballs until you end up eating pavement. If you stay on that track of positive thinking, it's gonna do wonders for your mental attitude. You start finding solutions you didn't see before. Won't automatically make you win, as you know, but it'll help you get closer. So I'll ask you now. You're fighting Bruce. Are you gonna win? Takes a bit to respond. My stomach is still in knots. Yeah. Took a bit, but we got there. I'll ask again right before the fight. I got a bit of a chuckle out of me. What happens if I lose? What did I just say? No, I know, but what if a miracle happens and he gets lucky and I lose? Then you lose. Then you get back up. You can try again next time. And you keep going until you break his big dumb snout in. Oops. And you keep going until you break his big dumb snout in. Or die trying. He goes quiet at that, like he's mad or confused, like he doesn't know how to respond. Well, it won't come to that. Bruce is a brute, but he's not a killer. I'm quiet for a moment. I break the silence. You generally think you could beat Bruce? Oh, absolutely. Not even with fake confidence. I'd drop his ass in a second. And I his belly pressed firmly against the wall of the railing. Well, I did say it had been a while since people have seen him fight. I wouldn't get out without a few scrapes, of course. He's lucky he ain't fighting when I was around. I'm surprised you could take a punch from him. I feel like one punch would send me to the ground with a broken jaw. Bucky's eye peers down at me, almost suspicious of my lack of confidence. That's why I'm not gonna let him hit me, obviously. There we go. You're not wrong. Bruce is a bit of a powerhouse, eh? Yeah, I'm not normally scared of getting hit from people in my weight class. That's not really an option for me right now. Really? Not even Red? Red, back in our first class. You went through initiation. Pop dropped you like a sack of potatoes. I haven't really thought about that. I don't think I actually apologized to Red either. Like you could probably see my mood drop. Do you want to talk about that? He's a strong little bugger for sure. Probably just weren't expecting it, that's all. He tosses my hair. When his fingers get caught in my antler stop, I flinch instinctively. Jeez, these things grow fast, eh? Yes. Doesn't have to tell me twice. You're gonna need a haircut before you fight, and a bone cut? A trim. Been dreading it for a while, but it has to be done. My fight's in a few days. I'll probably get it before breakfast. Good thinking. We've got grappling today. Can't have you jabbing out the eyes of my boys. We're quiet for a little while, just listening to the water sway gently. So, what brought you out here? He gives a content sigh. I usually come out here for a run whenever I can't sleep. Something about the water just helps keep my mind at ease, you know? He pauses. Plus, running on sand gives you a better workout. Working on the treadmill is great and all, but it's good to get a change of scene, right? Keeps you sane. You could go crazy down here if you're not careful. You could go crazy down here if you're not careful. Trim? It's been a while, but I'm sure I can handle it. We've got to put you under some anesthesia. Did you eat breakfast? I sighed. Nope. Good. My stomach growls as he goes on to explain how the trim works. I'm sure it's all just standard procedures, sir. I had to get my antlers trimmed every once in a while growing up, and even more often now that I'm fighting. It's not too big of a deal during the winter. I need one at least once a month for most of the year. If I just let them grow out, then I'd have to give up fighting. I don't know what I'd do with myself without that. Besides, I could have put on most of my shirts if I had antlers growing out every which way. I don't look good in a button-up. I'll just be rambling for a bit. I know the drill. Anesthesia injected into the scalp. Bone saw cuts as close as the doctor can get into the skin. Some of the fancier places topside have machines that do it a lot more efficiently, but those are expensive. Anesthesia alone costs more than most fur cuts. Thankfully, the league pays for it down here. Well, I guess that's why you don't see deer in the league often. I agree to whatever the doctor is saying. He lays me back into the chair. A few seconds later, I feel the prick of the needle in my head. I close my eyes as the numbing feeling is spread over my head and face. Some time has passed. This feels amazing. I don't know where they got this stuff. It's so much better than where I usually get my trims. Groggily pull my eyes open. The light of the room is too damn bright. Probably doesn't hurt to close them for a bit more. I barely got any sleep last night. I deserve to get some rest. I've been training hard too, so I definitely deserve it. Even Bucky said so. Think? Maybe? I don't remember what he said actually. Was this morning a dream too? He did say we were grappling today. I don't know if that was part of the dream or just me remembering the schedule he gave us yesterday. Shit. Wait, we have practice today. I need to get up, like now. My eyes open and I sit up. Feels like my head weighs 100 pounds underwater. Hey, Doc? No one responds. Must have just left me here to nap. Gotta go. I gotta go train. Thinking feels heavenly, like an extra bit of sleep in between this weird headache pulsing through my skull. I stand up off the bed, staggering towards the door. It's a miracle I'm even able to make it there. Everything is so damn cloudy. I make it to the hallway. There's not another person in sight. Maybe they're all tending to other patients? Whatever. I have to get to class. I stumble into the main hall and look around. It's eerily quiet. My legs are shaky without the walls to hold on to, so I try to get to one. Ow. Nice being on the floor, though. I could just close my eyes. What the fuck is wrong with you? Someone walks up beside me. I can't see him. It's kind of muffled, but I think I understand what he said. It's nice. You should try it. The floor, I mean. Wait. Shit. I need to get up. I need to go to practice. No, you're not. Come on. Whoever he is, he's got a nice voice. And he's really strong. Strong enough to pick me up like he is now. I could just fall asleep draped over his shoulder. He carries me to an elevator. Somewhere. It's nice and dark in here. Do you think Bucky will be mad if I miss class? Fuck should I know? It seemed like a good question. I don't want him mad at me. He gets mad when people call him Buck, but Redline does it anyway. I get mad when people call me Alex, so I get it, but Redline doesn't call me Alex. He pauses. Okay. Swear to Christ. The elevator stops. I don't remember it starting. It stopped. Now this big guy's carrying me down on a hall. Which one is yours? My room? It's on the second floor. I know. Which one is it? It's at the end. Okay. It's not just mine, though. I share it with Redline. Okay. He's really nice to me, even though I'm mean to him sometimes. Okay. I don't think you should be nice to me. Okay. Because then I wouldn't feel so bad. Jesus, I gotta get some of what they gave you. You sound seriously fucked right now. I laugh, probably a bit too loud. It hurts my head. It's Anastasia. Numbing. For my antlers. I point at them. Can't feel my finger poking against them. They don't hurt the touch like they usually do after a trim. So I can get them cut. But it's different this time. Alright, we're here. Think. I've been nearing unconsciousness for so long that my body nearly crumbles when he sets me down. I fumble with the thumb padlock for a second. Finally get inside. Didn't I have practice to go to? I think I need to go to class. No, you're going to sleep. You can't even walk. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. I stagger into the room and trip, falling flat onto her bed. My legs curl up, and I drag the blanket over my body. Night. He pauses for a moment. For a minute. Yeah. The door closes, so do my eyes. Even though the sun is shining brightly through the windows, I somehow managed to pass out. I wonder who helped him. Well, everyone, on this note, I think this would be a good time to call it quits for now. I'm gonna turn off the screen real quick so I can make a save. And right to the main menu. Alright everyone, that's it for our first stream of Undefeated. What did you guys think? I'm really enjoying it, and I'm very tempted to go another hour of just reading this amazing visual novel. But I'm getting really hungry, so I should stop for now and plan to eat or stream more of this. I definitely want to. But for now, that'll do it for this stream. Thank you again for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, follow the channel and turn on notifications. It helps me, and it'll help you know when I stream next time. Okay, I might go and look for someone to raid, so give me a minute. Oh. Okay, I found someone to raid. We're gonna raid Dan Ezra today. He's doing, hang on. Oh, wait, no, no. Oh, shoot, he's already going to raid someone. Well, that blows. It's been a while since I last raided Dan Anthro. Alright, I guess I'll look for someone else to raid. Alright, we're gonna raid, Jackaled. He's currently playing Fortnite right now. Which reminds me, I haven't done my dailies for Fortnite today. I should do that. Alright, thank you again for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!